buck stops here in the regular season, but the Deep North Division's top two teams both have their eyes on a long postseason run. The visitors from Illinois were the best of 2022's incoming class, learning last night that they've earned a playoff spot in their maiden voyage in USL League 2. Menace, meanwhile, clinched the division long ago, but their sights are set on picking up the top points percentage in the entire nation. With 3 points and a pair of slip-ups elsewhere, Menace will be the regular season's best finishers. All that and more is at stake on a crucial Saturday night. Good evening and welcome to live coverage of Des Moines Menace soccer on the Central Iowa Sports Network. With Justin Forster alongside me, my name's Danny Catula, saying welcome to the press box at Top Valley Stadium in West Des Moines, Iowa. Justin, welcome, and this is quite the match. You look at it on paper and you think, well, there's nothing to play for. Both these teams have qualified for the playoffs, but it couldn't be farther from the truth. Menace have plenty to play for at the very top of national standings, but at the same time, Peoria would like some momentum, especially against Menace. They haven't gotten any points from them all season.
Yeah, well, we look at that. No points. The Menace are looking to have a 100% record against Peoria. They beat them in the first 2 games away from home. But the Menace are also playing for a higher seeding in the US Open Cup with a win tonight. And obviously a win tonight will help them further along in the playoffs, hopefully.
Yeah, that's the goal. That's the idea. And with a little bit of help in some other matches, they could find themselves at the very top of that points per game margin, which of course makes it a lot easier for the US Open Cup to decide to select us. Looking at what we can expect from this matchup, a lot of quality in both these sides, and I think Peoria is one of the few clubs that will take the game to Menace and really play a more attacking style.
Well, yeah, and they're on a high right now because they beat Thunder Bay 3-0 in the last match a couple of weeks ago. I'm very surprised that Valero's not in the squad today. He's a quality midfielder. He likes to dictate the pace, but he's being replaced. I think the system's going to change into a 4-4-2 diamond. I know we've discussed this. It'll be very interesting to see what happens, but to try and overload the actual midfield to combat against the Menace.
Yeah, a lot of surprises for us up in the broadcast booth when we saw that pre-game roster. A few surprises of players we expected to be there, Valero being one of them. More on all of that later. But I mean, what's this style that Peoria is going to come with, and how does it differ from other clubs in this division?
Well, they like to play the ball quickly. They like to keep it moving, and the speed of actions are at pace. They do a lot of short passing, and they're really good at it. And what they try and do is they'll try and draw the Menace into pressuring, opening up space between the lines, and then look to go in behind them. However, I think the Menace will have it all sussed out because they've played them twice already and they've done their homework this week, as we saw in training last night.
Absolutely. 2 clubs in very good form and with a whole lot of quality to call on. You look at the Deep North Division standings, and as you can see in yellow, both Menace and Peoria have clinched playoff berths at this point. Des Moines, of course, with an 8-point cushion. They win the division no matter what happens here tonight. However, that momentum that we speak of, that ability to beat a good team in this division and set yourself up for good opposition in the rest of the Central Conference when we get to playoff time next week, that's all on the line. More about this upcoming match next as we bring you a little break, but we'll be back in a moment on CISN.
The Chicken in Orilla is a classic roadhouse joint serving chicken any way you want. All hand-cut, hand-breaded, and 100% satisfying. Chicken, just like your mama used to make. Bring the whole fam for all their favorites, and chicken so good you'll know why we could only call ourselves the Chicken. In the middle of nowhere, but just minutes from everywhere. With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
At DeArmond Ford Indianola and DeArmond Automotive Knoxville, we want you to experience the DeArmond difference.
My dad and I are in the dealership every day to ensure your ownership experience is exceptional.
We're completing phase 2 of our major reconstruction project at our Indianola location, providing a state-of-the-art customer lounge and waiting area and soon-to-be all-new showroom, reinvesting back into our communities.
DeArmond Ford Indianola and DeArmond Automotive Knoxville. Experience the DeArmond difference today. DeArmondAuto.com.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Obsessively, relentlessly at your service. To me, it means being there 24/7, rain or shine, during storms, after storms.
Being a first responder to the community, to my customers.
Being there to get the customers back on and to see the smiles on their face.
To provide the kind of reliability that we can hold our heads high about.
And we want to keep our customers safe. Safety's first around here.
And that's rewarding.
Match day 12 out of 12 kicks off in mere moments here. 20 minutes from the Iowa State capital in West Des Moines. Justin Forster and yours truly, Danny Catuller in the press box at Valley, leading you up to the opening whistle. The final match of the season for both Peoria City and your Des Moines Menace will be a highly consequential one for both sides, especially with recent results in mind. Justin, let's take a look at what Peoria City bring to the table. They've got a little bit of scouting on them. We know a little bit about what they want to do, but they're also very versatile, and they showed that in a 3-0 win against Thunder Bay.
Yeah, and a very, very different lineup today, though. As you can see here, Justin Fraddis scored the first goal after this delivery from the right-hand side. Just played across the goal, and there was Fraddis, unmarked goal just past the goalkeeper, and that was within the first 15 minutes. The second goal came from a corner, a bit of a goal melee. Thunder Bay didn't clear it, and Tim Ennan got on the end of that. And then when we look at the third goal, Tal Segev, ball out wide, lots of space, delivery comes in, and there he was, just decided to put the ball home. And funnily enough, all three of these players that scored are not in the squad today.
Yeah, 3 players who we expected to be in the 18 and honestly in the 11, but they don't feature in this team that's traveled 5 hours away at all. But let's take a look at Menace, the home side. What are they bringing to the table after a 4-1 win over St. Croix right here a week ago?
Well, the Menace are on fire right now, especially Birmingham, goal and Goldthorpe. Here you see Birmingham, lots of space, no pressure from the St. Croix back line. Gets it onto his right foot and straight into the top corner. An absolute worldie past the goalkeeper. As you can see, the angle was off. He chopped the ball back, and the keeper couldn't do anything about that. And then we look at the second goal. Goldthorpe, the Yorkshire Terrier, fought hard, wins the ball, regains possession of the left centre back, cuts into the box, no pressure, comes a little bit close, a little Cruyff turn, and there you go, just slots the ball, bending into the far post with his left foot. And Goldthorpe happened to get the third goal as well. As you can see, he was the man of the match last week, lots of space, checks in, checks his shoulder, first touch onto his left foot, and there you go, straight past the goalkeeper into the bottom corner, an absolutely sublime finish. And then St. Croix pulled one back with the Zuzu, the substitute coming on. He was a bit of a menace as soon as he came in. He caused a lot of problems, but look at this strike on his right foot, just leaning back under pressure, off the crossbar and into the goal. And then Leroy Engazuzi with the fourth goal. He's out of the squad today because he's injured. He had to pull that one out of his feet, and what an absolute world-class strike with his right foot into the top corner. St. Croix's goalkeeper had a handful on the night with all the goals going in top corner and bottom corner.
Yeah, that's right. And Zagusi, this is a world-class celebration as well. We can't forget to mention it. But you bring up the fact that he's not on the 18. He suffered an injury earlier on this year that forced him to miss 5 or 6 matches. He had only just come back from that injury, and now he's picked up another knock, as they say, on the other side of the pond. But that's definitely a tough one to see. And then, I mean, you look at Elliot Goldthorpe at the double last time out. He's got 5 goals on the season. You'd never know that he's a converted central midfielder. That's where he's played all season long, and only in the most recent match did we see him up top. We'll see him up top again. What do you like of him in that position?
Well, he's enjoying the role, that's for sure. I spoke to him yesterday at training, and he's loving it. He's playing with a bit of freedom. He works extremely hard. He reads the game well. He's got great awareness. And I think with a player like Goldthorpe, who does attack from the midfield, can play that role, because he does, like, as we saw in his second goal, he comes between the lines. He scans, gets on the half turn, and it's going to cause problem for the opponents today in Peoria.
It is. Peoria will have their hands full, but at the same time, they've got plenty of quality. Let's take a look at what this team brings to the table, scout them a little bit. 6 wins, 3 draws, 2 losses on the year. It's their first year in USL League 2. They were meant to start in 2020, but of course the pandemic hampered that intention for them, so it's their first season with a lot of build-up for them. They've clinched a playoff spot already, as we've mentioned. It's a high-powered attack that's going to lead this team, especially that man at the bottom of your screen, Adrià Sabater Olivas. He's going to be the guy to keep an eye out for. He's from Mislata, Spain, in the Catalan region. Catalan is his first language. He's got 6 goals from 8 matches this season. Also 4 yellow cards, so not afraid to get involved in a tackle as well, especially for a forward. At Peoria, they can be dangerous on the counter. It feels like that's their biggest threat to Menace.
Yeah, I think so. And, with those 2 up front, in Hernandez and Olivas, they're going to cause problems. They've got some pace about them. But I think the key is going to be in the central midfield area today. This is where it's going to be won and lost, from what I've seen in previous games with Peoria.
Well, Peoria City have impressed in their opening season, and they can play freely tonight knowing that they'll be playing next weekend no matter what. That said, what would otherwise be a match with nothing to play for becomes much more important when potential seeding is factored in. Both sides could get a much more favorable first-round matchup if they win tonight. We'll see if either team can do so, but we'll step aside for now and be right back with final thoughts before kickoff in a few moments, right here on CISL.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
Hi, it's Amanda with Holt's Plumbing and Heating. With inventory tight, Holt not only anticipated the need, but took the risk of stocking up on our most popular products. While our competitors scramble to find furnaces, air conditioners, and water heaters, we have plenty of stock, ready to be installed. Even though we have extra product, now we see demand at an all-time high. To sweeten the deal, we are also offering 0% financing on your new purchase. Just one more reason why more and more Central Iowans are saying, let Holt handle that.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
There's more Iowa in the Iowa Tap Room than you may realize. Housed in a building nearly as old as Iowa itself, the Iowa Tap Room greets you with a harvest of 120 Iowa craft beers on tap from all corners of the state. And the food doesn't get much more Iowa than this. The Iowa Tap Room, all Iowa beer, one amazing place.
Hi, I'm Joe the Car Guy with Westside Auto. I'm excited to tell you about our new lifetime oil change plan. When you purchase our plan, you'll never have to pay for an oil change again. If you get a different car, simply transfer the plan over. If that car's oil needs are different than your original plan, just pay the difference. It couldn't be simpler. You won't have to worry about inflation or prices going up. Give us a call at Westside Auto Pros to get details on the lifetime oil change plan. And remember, when I say lifetime, I mean your lifetime, not just your car's.
Back with you in the booth before Menace and Peoria City square off. With nearly every team in the league finishing their seasons up tonight, there's still a lot we don't know about the Central Conference playoff picture, but here's what we do know. Playoff teams are seeded based on their points per game, but also on their place in the division, which means that Menace, already having won their division, will match up in the first round against a team that finished second in another division. Clubs to keep an eye out for include Flint City Bucks from the Great Lakes and Caw Valley FC from the Heartland. But we'll find out for sure early next week when our league releases the official bracket. One more quick word from our sponsors, and we'll run it back one more time for the final regular season contest in 2022 on the home of the Menace, CISN.
The Royal Mile, where everyone's a wee bit British. The Royal Mile is downtown Des Moines' living room with classic pub favourites. Pair them with a glass of whiskey or an expertly poured Guinness. It's bloody brilliant. The Royal Mile, a proper British pub.
Hi, this is Chris from Fireplace Superstore, and it's going to be an interesting patio furniture season this year. We have ordered a ton of merchandise, but due to supply chain issues, it's coming in a truckload at a time all summer long. If you want the best patio furniture, check early and check often. If you want to custom order your furniture, get in here as soon as you can to give your furniture the best chance to arrive this summer. Fireplace Superstore, Iowa's best patio furniture selection, just east of I-35 on Douglas Avenue.
Not too many places hit all the right notes. But when it comes to great atmosphere and delicious scratch-made food, Truman's is the name to know. Game days are for Chiefs fans, but every day is for the food fans. Truman's, get to know us by name.
Need orthopedic care today? DMOS Orthopedic Urgent Injury Clinics in Ankeny and West Des Moines are open 6 days a week. No appointment necessary. Our 2 convenient walk-in clinics offer you full access to dedicated orthopedic specialists. Wait times and costs are generally less than an ER visit. Check hours of operation and wait times instantly at DMOS.com. DMOS Urgent Injury Clinics in Ankeny and West Des Moines, helping you get back to living.
Welcome back. Starting lineups are ready to bring you as we're just moments away from kickoff. Peoria City, the visitors. Here's how they'll look. Edgar Vargas is in goal from Yakima, Washington. Plays for the Providence Friars, one of many for Peoria who play there for their college ball. Tyler Freitas, Wes Gibson, Thomas Murray, and Daniel Orrego are the defenders. Orrego usually plays in defensive midfield, but there'll be a back 4 today instead of a usual back 3, so he'll slot into that right back position. João Broom from Ribeira Grande, Portugal, in the Azores Islands. He'll play defensive midfield in Rego's place. Dominic Machado and Nilton de Andrade are the outside wingers. Adrián Salvatore Olivas is the leading scorer for the team. He'll be up top alongside Kevin Hernandez. Looking at Menace, it's going to be a pretty similar lineup to last time out. Joey Betruni in goal, Corey Cupid, Zeron Sewell, and Connor Langen on the back line. Neville Morgan and Gianluca Fiorini are your left and right wing backs respectively. In central defensive midfield, Lance Roseboom makes his return after a week off, and Luka Nedic, the Bosnian, will join him. Riley Kraft in attacking midfield where he's been all season long. And up top, it's Elliot Goldthorpe and Brandon Birmingham leading the line. 2 capable strikers and the 2 leading scorers on the team with 5 goals apiece. About ready for kickoff, Justin. Predictions, thoughts?
It's going to be interesting. I'm not going to predict a score here. I think it's going to be based on, like I said, in the midfield, and you can see already how the Peoria have lined up. But I tell you what, with Riley Kraft, Birmingham, and Goldthorpe going forward, it's going to be very interesting. They've got so much pace about them, and they're hungry.
Kickoff, we are underway in West Des Moines, Iowa. Menace taking on Peoria City in the ultimate final match of the 2022 regular season. Des Moines moving from right to left in front of you, and well, they didn't take long to get a ball into the box. The shot is blocked and out for a very early corner. 15 seconds in, and already a set piece for Riley Kraft to get on the end of. Just to finish the thought, Peoria City moving from left to right, of course, in their all-wide away strip.
Very interesting on this one. Menace have never kicked off going right to left so far with the home games. They normally attack the fan base in the second half.
Short corner is played back out to Kraft. He'll whip one in from the far side and headed away at the first time of asking. Shot from distance is charged down. The Peoria City losing out on the ball. It'll be a foul in the end that's whistled. The center referee tonight, who, by the way, is Jake Larson, making his first appearance with the whistle at a home Menace match this season. Robert Suri and Noah Brenny are his assistant referees, and Aaron Valley, who we've seen quite a few times this season, is the fourth official.
Interesting on the corner kick there, Danny. The Des Moines Menace have normally whipped the ball into the box. They decided to go short this time. It could have been a problem. I like that idea, just a variation in the set plays.
Head coach Dean Johnson spoke about that with us. He said that was a sore spot for this team and that they've been kind of having a greater expectation in training on getting more goals in the back of the net from those corner kicks, from those free kicks, those set piece opportunities. They've got to be a little bit more lethal in the eyes of the coaching staff, and I'd have to agree.
I agree too. At Manitoba, we had 16. The Menace had 16 corners and didn't at least get one on target. Most of them were cleared, but we'll see today. Maybe there will be something different, Danny, and you know, like you said, I think it's going to be a different type of matchup. As you can see, both sides. Peoria with a free kick that went direct. The Menace are going direct here as well.
And it could come down to those little details, couldn't it, in a matchup between the top two in the Deep North. Throw in for Peoria on this near side in front of us. Looks like it'll be Daniel Orrego to take it. He's from Medellin, Colombia, went to East Boston High School, moved to Boston as a kid, plays for the UMass Lowell Riverhawks after transferring from Dean College and then Vermont. Menace winning the ball back with a high press is what they love to do. Riley Kraft tried to get back on the ball after losing it initially. Couldn't do so, and this long ball is what Peoria like. They want to go direct, and if they see an opening, they want to go quickly. It doesn't work out on this occasion. And Menace had players in the area on that left side of attack, but nothing doing.
Peoria, as we predicted, have gone 4-4-2 with a diamond midfield, which I think would be more suited to them to try and take care of the three in the midfield for the Menace and just overload certain areas, because they do know how the Menace play and how good they are as far as the technical flair and ability they have in the midfield.
Peoria move it down the left side for the first time. That doesn't work out either, as Gianluca Fiorini is there in the right wing back position to take care of it. On the ball, Joey Betruni, usually the second choice keeper, but he's made some appearances this season. Of course, came in when Grant Makela was red carded in the first game of the year, and then now that Grant Makela's picked up a bit of an injury, he's been called back into action. Throw in the attacking area for Menace now.
I think the key here for the Menace would be getting the ball into the wide areas, increasing their speed of actions. With the diamond so tight and shifting from left to right, it's going to leave space on the opposite side of the field, especially in the wide areas. And I think that could be the key to that. And how could they possibly get Neville Morgan involved down the left flank, because he is dangerous and he likes to take on players.
And Morgan has shown that bit of quality, just to be able to dribble around a defender, no matter who that defender is. He's done it really 3 straight matches here at home and put on a show for these Menace fans. But of course, Peoria will know he's talented. Moving down the right side, this could be an opportunity for a 2-on-3. Peoria looking to get it into the box. Play it to the top as Justin is going to move it back, and now on the back line, that's Wes Gibson who will move it forward. Now Joao Brum. Kevin Hernandez getting on the ball early on. And you just see this possession in midfield early from Peoria, and it's something that you don't see with many other teams that Menace face. This is a Peoria team that will really play and give Menace a game as far as taking the match to them and not sitting back and just waiting to spring a counter.
Yeah, and they do have a lot of technical ability in their squad, because I went in and watched their last game against Thunder Bay, and they do like to play the short passes, quick one-touch, two-touch passes, and then try and draw the Menace out of positions or the opponents out of position and try and expose them in behind. Like a little bit like we saw with the counter-attack from earlier on when the ball was played out wide. It was in behind Connor Langen, and then Suhr was forced into a position, out of position, but there wasn't enough support coming in.
Long ball down the center of attack for Peoria, and Joey Petruni is aware of the danger, clears that one away with his foot. Right side a little bit too handsy for the liking of the referee, and that'll be a foul against Corey Cupid. By the way, that's a refereeing decision brought to you by Vision Park Family Eye Care, who proudly serves Central Iowa with quality eye care services and a friendly staff.
Cupid didn't really have to do that. You know, he was facing away from goal. I mean, it's an unnecessary foul, but it's in an area that's not of a high risk anyway, Danny, and I think, you know, it's okay, but just got to be careful, because if that happens around the box, the Menace could be facing some issues.
Yeah, important to understand where you are on the pitch as a defender. Corey Cupid aware on that occasion, and now we'll see the ball again. He'll just usher it out, and that'll result in a Menace goal kick. And that'll be Joey Petruni's job. He'll play it out left, and that's where Corey Cupid will pick it up. He's from Chaguanas, Trinidad and Tobago. And he will switch the ball all the way to the right side. Gianluca Fiorini with it. Back line, Connor Langan from Petersfield, England. Zeron Sewell, the big man in the center of defense. Cupid again. Long ball from Cupid. He picked his head up and saw the run of Morgan. He is rapid on that left side, and he'll link up with this ball. Along the goal line, could not quite keep it in. And that'll make for a Peoria goal kick. Into the 8th minute now, as Peoria have seemed to weather the early challenges from Menace. They're finding ways to win the ball back when Menace go deep and try to go long. They're a pretty stout defensive group, especially in this 4-back lineup compared to how they usually come out as a 3-back.
Yeah, like I said, you know, I actually thought Peoria were going to play with the back 3, with the Menace playing, with 2 up front. But Kraft is so good at finding those gaps between the lines that you have to keep it safe at the back. As far as, you know, just the 4 at the back would be better. But what I have noticed when Peoria go forward, on the left-hand side, Daniel Orego tucks into a central area position, so obviously he's closer to play when it breaks down. He can pick up and break up play, because he does play as a central midfielder, as we know. And I think with those kind of tactics will help as far as trying to break up play to stop the Des Moines Menace counterattacks. But he is a quality player, but he's playing it right back today, so that's quite interesting.
On the back line, meanwhile, this is Wes Gibson. Right side, Orego, as you just mentioned, Justin. Long ball, and he's looking for the run of Kevin Hernandez. Hernandez does find the ball now, and just poked away by Corey Cupid on that occasion. Riley Kraft gives it away in midfield, and Peoria, I think, have had the better of possession early on. Obviously not even 10 minutes gone yet in this one, but they're getting forward in moments like this. Left side, looking for a cross, overlapping run, but he'll go himself, and it was shades of the Brandon Birmingham goal last week. It took a Herculean effort in goal from Joey Petruni, and that's an El Bait Shop save. El Bait Shop is the largest craft beer selection west of the Mississippi. What a stop from Petruni.
Well, I tell you what, it was Tyler Freitas, I believe, played the ball out wide, but look at this piece of skill here. He cuts it, not enough pressure on Olivas. For a player like Olivas, you can't give him that time and space, because he might punish you. But what a save there by Petroni.
Olivas, not the guy that you want to leave alone. Joao Broom will put this one in, and it's headed towards the back post. An important interception by Zeron Sewell to head it out for another corner. That was headed goalwards, Justin.
Well, that was straight off the training field, because I noticed the attacking player just peeled off into the far post unmarked and managed to nod the ball across. As we look at this again, watch the movement here. There we go, peeled off into the far post, and it was well taken there, I believe, by Sewell, out for another corner.
In comes another service from the opposite side. It's sent long, and too long in the end for anybody in white, so a Des Moines Menace goal kick will result.
Well, to the relief of the Des Moines Menace, just to slow things down a bit here right now. But like you mentioned earlier, Danny, there are different types. I mean, I'd look at the past results, and I think that this squad might have changed a little bit as well, you know, throughout the season. As we know how the USL 2 the league works, this could turn into an exciting match tonight. Could be end-to-end, to be honest with you.
Sewell on the defensive end of things has the ball for now. Whips it out wide to no avail. And a far side throw in for Peoria. They've been disciplined, haven't they? Whenever Menace have tried to kind of move them around with passes along the back line, switches of play, they haven't budged. They've stayed home.
Yeah, and like I said, they tucked in. You can see the diamond in the midfield. It's working together. How long could they prolong this and keep going? But I mean, they've had numbers round the ball. As soon as possession's lost or there's a transition, boom, they're there. And then when they win it back, there's quick, short interchange of passes and combinations, and then they go.
A little bit of gamesmanship in midfield from Sabater Olivas, which will give us a little bit of a break, but Corey Cupid gets things underway quickly. Langan on the ball.
And it's interesting because Corey Cupid now has moved into the left centre-back position. He's played in a double six. He's played as a wing back as well. So, he's a utility player, is what Gaffer has told us before.
Ball whipped in by Neville Morgan. Headed away the first time of asking, still in the area. Nice dinked ball, and it just beats the run of Brandon Birmingham on that occasion. But it went over the goal line, and it's out for another corner kick.
What a combination that was. The ball was played in, I believe it was Roseboom, just flicked the ball in behind for Birmingham. The keeper, a little bit indecisive coming out. As we look at this again, ball played in. No, actually, that was Elliot.
Genetics in there.
Yeah, Neditz was in there playing a little flick in there for Birmingham.
Don't see Neddick in there too often as a defensive midfielder, but he was ready to slot that one home. Corner kick comes in from Kraft, but the referee will whistle for a foul inside the box. I didn't see much to warrant it, but he must have seen something that we didn't, the center referee tonight.
He's a little bit closer than us, Danny. I didn't see anything either, but the infringement's been called. And again, you see the goalkeeper, Vargas, lining up to go long. The last game, they played a lot out of the back.
Well, and when we see this goal kick come in, you'll see on your screen how many players are across midfield right now. It's really almost 5 or 6 forwards. There you see it. So many players in and around the ball for Peoria. It's strength in numbers in the attack as Menace will look to come the other way, and you saw the idea, but just a bit too long for Riley Kraft. Side of midfield, that's Tyler Freitas, and he'll give it to Joao Broom. Now it's Gio Alves, making his first start for Peoria tonight. He'll play it out left. Could be a chance for Dominic Machado. He'll give it back. And this ball whipped in, a player in the area, and if that touch was a little stronger, we could be looking at a 1-0 Peoria, but Truni was there in the end.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Menace were lucky there because Sewell didn't get it. One, he probably didn't receive any communication. As Hernandez, I believe, was Kevin Hernandez, just lurking in behind off the shoulder. And this is where center forwards are very dangerous, is when they work off the shoulder of center backs and just sneak in behind them. That could have been a goal, and should have been a goal, in fact. He should have connected.
Sent long and a couple of bounces. Fiorini trying to get there, and he will, but he'll knock down a player in the process. So Tyler Freitas goes down, and that'll be a free kick against Fiorini.
Well, like you said earlier, Peoria have had the run of play, and I think they've come really, really close, to be honest with you. Apart from the Menace opportunity, it's just a little bit earlier with the combination going out for a corner. But you can see already Peoria are really threatening when they go forward in and around the box. And these long direct balls that they're playing from set plays deep with the goalkeeper Vargas are causing problems because they've got numbers in targeted areas.
This targeted area is the left flank right now. They're going to target it again. Some excellent dribbling on that left side from Sabater Olivas, but in the end, Connor Langan is there to clear it away, but Peoria will launch another attack that'll be intercepted by Kraft. He'll send it long, and not with a whole lot of intent. He's trying to get it away, I think, more than anything.
A really good high line there by the goalkeeper, Edgar Vargas, but it was well taken, well covered by one of the center backs, I believe was Thomas Murray.
Attacking chance again for Peoria. This is Gio Alves, he put it in the box for Sabater Olivas, but it's cleared away. Menace with some important defending, and that's been the story of the first 15 minutes. Nice work by João Brom, and he will absorb a shirt pull from Luka Nedic, and that's been the guy, if anybody's going to get a yellow card, it usually is Luka Nedic. He won't get one on this occasion, but I think Jake Larsson's making it very clear right now that that's his only chance.
Yeah, and I think that's his first warning. He does it again, he's going to get done. But João Brom, I've been really impressed with him, the Portuguese player. I mean, he's got so much skill, deft little touch there, as you saw. But he likes to get on the ball and he likes to switch it. So he's now in there dictating the pace.
Groom from southern New Hampshire, plays for the Penmen over there. Originally from the Azore Islands in Portugal. That's a nice job to win back possession by Luka Nedic. And Birmingham had it for a moment. That's Goldthorpe trying to win it back, but he couldn't. And on the ball again, Peoria. They have had the lion's share of possession. You mentioned it in the open, Justin. Midfield has been a really important area of the pitch, and the patterns of play have favored Peoria.
Yes, most definitely, as they look to deliver into the box. They're looking for Hernandez, but you can see that they are dominating now in the midfield because they're winning more possession there, but it's the quick interchanging of passing. I noticed Riley Kraft dropping it a little bit deeper, obviously to support the three in there. Well, he's part of the three. I just think they need to get one more tucked in, Fiorini or maybe one of the center forwards in Birmingham. I would maybe get Elliot Goldthorpe just to drop into the space because of that overload.
Well, that's something we saw a lot last time out against St. Croix. You saw Goldthorpe almost play as a false nine, dropping back quite often, but we haven't seen it quite so often in today's match. Neville Morgan, nice job to hold on to possession, but then will throw it away on the forward pass. That's another thing that's been uncharacteristic for Menace tonight. I think Peoria have thrown them off a bit. We haven't seen great passing. We haven't seen great execution on the ball.
Well, it's a little bit off after 18 minutes. And after the home games that we've done, Danny, I mean, the Menace in the first 25, 30 minutes are normally off. You know, so I hate to say it, but the second half, all of a sudden, they're on fire, you know, and then they start banging in goals. But they've got to really be careful because the Peoria look very, very well organized in their shape. They're very disciplined. They're passing players on, and they're overloading the central area. Also, I just think the Menace need to calm down a bit, get the ball down, and knock it around. Just keep the ball, keep moving it quickly.
A chance to move up the pitch and get a little bit more field position as Neville Morgan will make a second consecutive throw. We'll see it again quickly, and again, trying to just move it forward, and it's out of play on that same touchline.
Yeah, and again, it's just a little bit sluggish, to be honest with you, but he has an opportunity. Look on the far side, Fiorini making that run out wide, but again, covered as Sewell saw the cover coming across from Tyler Freitas and decided to keep it just a little bit patient because he might have given the ball away there.
Fiorini does have it now, and he'll give it away just as quickly. Neither side has been particularly effective in the attack from Menace. But on the back line, a chance for some pressure. There it is, Menace winning the ball back. They give it away just as quickly again. It's those errant passes that's cost them early on.
Well, you see there the quick one-touch passing, but play was broken up there and intercepted by Gianluca Fiorini. But then the movement was really good. You saw Goldthorpe and you saw Birmingham starting to stretch the line, but the pass wasn't as accurate because the space was covered really quickly.
Yeah, credit to Peoria's back line early on. They've done a good job closing those spaces down, as you mentioned.
Yes, they have. I've been really impressed with them so far. But time will tell as the game moves on.
Another dangerous cross to the top of the box, but cleared away by Sewell. Now still more to deal with. Peoria will play it back and be a bit more patient on this occasion. Daniel Orrego. A touch from Morgan, but he couldn't win possession fully back. Now on the ball, Gio Alves. Attacking midfield, Olivas. Still got it, looking for a little bit of space. He'll move it out wide. Orrego with a cross to the back post. Sewell was there. Top of the box, the shot is well over the bar. But Peoria keep creating chances, and I think if we see another 25 minutes like this, I wouldn't be surprised to see Peoria go ahead and grab an opening goal.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. It was well defended there by Sewell, but didn't quite clear the line. Man open at the top of the box. Fluffed his lines basically with a shot. Pressure was coming onto him, but again, you can see what Peoria are about. I mean, they've come here to try and win this game. They look very, very good at the moment. And they've got so much technical ability. As you can see how they shift. Now this is pretty good, yeah, with Goldthorpe coming into the space, but he's closed down. Oh, sorry, Riley Kraft coming into the space. He was a quality player, but he's closed down very, very quickly.
Peoria certainly have done their homework. And again in midfield, Menace having to struggle just to get on the ball, but they will do. Corey Cupid moves it out left. Morgan's got it. Morgan with a nice side-footed ball forward. Birmingham will earn himself some space. Plays it back where there's even more space. Corey Cupid in midfield. Switch of play for Langen. Langen beats a defender with a pass outside. Fiorini maneuvers forwards to the center of the pitch, and it'll be moved out by Goldthorpe. It's Morgan again. Morgan searching for enough space to whip a ball in. He will do so. And that was an acrobatic stop, an elbow chop save from goalkeeper Edgar Vargas.
Well, when Kraft saw that pass earlier before he received the ball, as Neville Morgan held a wide position here, the cross out of nothing. This delivery, great technique. Defender did well, closed down. Keeper Edgar Vargas didn't really expect that and just tipped it over the bar for a corner. And Orson has asked for them to take it on the other side. I thought he tipped it over on the near side, yeah.
Shouldn't make a whole lot of difference, especially considering Menace haven't scored on a corner yet on either side. It's just one of those, you know, sometimes you can look at statistics and say, oh, they score more on this side, they score more on the other side. In this case, they just like to score on either side. And it comes, oh, and it was a great delivery. Players in the area, unfortunate not to get on it. Throwing in the attack, Menace will hold on to possession.
Yeah, it came off one of the white jerseys in there, so it is a throw in here for the Menace. But again, it was a good delivery, out swinger. I know that Kraft wanted it from our near side bottom corner because he likes to swing him in with his right foot as well and put it on top of the goalkeeper. You know, test Edgar Vargas, who's actually been pretty good so far.
He's the second choice goalkeeper as well. A pretty similar situation to Joy Betruni in goal. Was making his 5th appearance this season for Menace. Edgar Vargas making his 4th. Remy Olatunji, the player who normally starts in that position, but is not available for this one. Langen will send a ball long. And it's inch perfect. Can Fiorini do anything with it out there? Can. It's played back. Roseboom's got it. And there were shouts for handball, but I think he had his hand in an actual position on that occasion. In either case, there's no real time to discuss it. And Salvatore Olivas was going the other direction. Nice job defensively by Zeron Sewell.
Very good defending there by Zeron Sewell. That was absolutely fantastic. Got his body in front of the attacking player, the center forward, and just managed to keep the ball. But, you know, Lance Roseboom had a right to appeal for it. But like you said, Danny, a good call on that. It wasn't... I'm just going to go back. They're giving the ball away too much. But anyway, it's just got to keep it simple and you know, just gain some momentum. However, it's got to be... It's a natural position, and I don't think the defender moved his hand out to stop the pass. It's a very, very deceiving rule, isn't it? As you can see, Lance is still arguing with the referee, or the 4th official.
Well, Lance Roseboom, a guy who has been all over the country playing this sport. He's played professionally for a host of clubs in a host of different divisions. He's seen it all. That's a dude who knows his stuff. If he's going to take it up with the official, he's probably got a case.
Yeah, an experienced player in the squad. He's a good leader as well. Type of guy that you need in the squad, you know, because it inspires players. He can get them motivated, and it's just those little things like that, you know. And there's a sense of frustration, I think, that's building up in a few of the players here, because it's not really going their way as the Menace look to go forward.
They've got an opportunity to break with some numbers. Peoria caught out defensively, and Birmingham looking to take advantage. That's excellent defending on the far side. Daniel Orego has been up to every task that he's been faced with. It'll be a Menace throw after some deliberation.
It looks like Tyler Fried's got a few of those little black pebbles in his eye. We've all had those before. He's back on the field now on the far side. And look at it, just sprints in there to regain a starting position.
It's exactly the effort and the motivation you want to see from one of your players as a manager or even as a supporter, I think. Morgan will drop it back. Corey Cupid sends that long, and it will find the feet of Riley Kraft. Can he put it in from here? Yes, he can, and he was looking for Birmingham's header, but it was just a little bit behind him that time.
A really good left-footed cross. I think the runs were too early. The Menace needed a late run into the box, maybe Luka Nedic, but the other runs were. But here's the thing: is like that was really good as far as the speed of actions, because Riley Kraft now is starting to find space in behind Daniel Orrego and the right center back, Wes Gibson. Actually, no, Thomas Murray. So he's finding that space. This is how he can draw one of the center backs out of position.
And I think it's taken these 25 minutes to really figure that out. Peoria, a really disciplined back line, and Menace, for all their attacking talent, you come up against a really quality defensive line, and it takes time, to be able to find those places where you can find weak links in the arm.
Yeah, and you can see here the Menace just now finding their way with possession. Keep the ball for a bit.
They'll send it long instead, and it could find the end. Oh, it's offside. It looked on to me, and we had one of these situations last week. It's Gianluca Fiorini, if you were wondering, making that run in, and he's got the speed. We'll see it again. We'll see a Royal Mile replay.
Yeah, as we look at this, the ball was pinged, and we don't really see the run out of the screen, but he looked onside to us. But
from that angle, Justin, I am convinced it was completely onside. But
convinced.
A bit biased, but convinced.
Yeah.
Still 0-0, 28 minutes gone in this one. Justin Forrester and myself, Danny Catula, in the broadcast booth. If you're listening to us live on YouTube via CISN or on 11 Sports, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, if you're just joining, it's the final match of the regular season for these two, both already having clinched the top two spots in the division. And Menace would like to go 1-0 ahead against second place Peoria City. Left side, here's Brandon Birmingham. Cuts inside. We know he can score from here. He goes near post. A clever effort. But it was a save in the end at that near post by Edgar Vargas to set up another Riley Kraft corner.
And we know that Brandon Birmingham can score goals when he cuts in onto his right foot, as he did last week. But Riley Kraft peeled off to his right-hand side, had a lot of space. And I did see Birmingham pick up his head before he took the shot.
Yeah, good idea for him to go near post when I think the expectation was that he'd go far. Nearly worked out for him. 29th minute, chance for Kraft to cross one in. And it goes far post. Whipped back into the area, but cleared away in the end. Sent back in one more time. Far post, Birmingham's there. Lays it off for Goldthorpe, and he misses entirely. Great build-up that time, but Peoria are going to try to go the other way. They see a chance to catch Menace out. They've got three players running forward. Down this right side, this is Gio Alves. He'll play it in, and two players were at that back post. But in the end, I believe it's Connor Langen who gets there. Might have been Fiorini as well. Somebody on that right side of defense, and it wasn't one of those big boys in the middle that you usually expect to get that header. Somebody came in. I do think it was Fiorini in the end who came in. One of the smallest players on the pitch, 5'7", but he rose highest enough on that occasion.
Well, credit to Fiorini, because his recovery run there was fantastic. Picking up on the far post, Connor Langen was on our near side. I just happened to pick him up as we can see Peoria breaking down the right.
Nilton de Andrade, he'll whip one in. A header about 10 yards from goal. And that doesn't yield anything for Dominic Machado. Back line, here's Connor Langen. He'll give it to Joey Petruni. Moves it forward to Langen again, and Menace will be patient. They'll play it to midfield. Headed back in the direction it came from. And back to square one, if you will, with Langen, and he'll give it to Sewell. Cupid left side. This is Morgan. Tried a little cheeky nutmeg that time. Didn't come out.
You just got to be careful because you don't want them to counter-attack just like this. How's that little deft touch with the outside of the foot? Just a little bit too much on it. Can I go? I'm going to go back to that corner. It was a great set piece in the corner. Cupid peeling off to the far post. Getting the ball, side-footing it back across goal. Birmingham nodding it back. Unfortunately, Goldthorpe just got it mistimed, but then it was a counter-attack after that. And Peoria have just proved that they can counter-attack with pace because the front two are stretching the line.
Looking to stretch this Peoria back line a little bit deeper on this free kick is Connor Lincoln. You imagine he'll try and send it long. Menace haven't had a whole lot of possession across midfield in recent memory, but it looks like they will now. Fiorini, he's got space and some players to aim for. Find Nedic. Nedic moves it out left. Morgan's had a lot of the ball early. He's able to beat his defender this time. Off to the races, moves it interiorly. Gives it back, top of the box. Nedic was there again, but could not quite get his foot to it. Coming the other way now, Peoria. No rest for the weary. They'll move one out to the left wing and not quite on board with the run of Adrià Sabater Olivas.
Goldthorpe's touch there wasn't quite right in the setup there for Nedic. I think he's just a little bit frustrated with the way he's playing. He's just got to just pick his head up, get a couple of good passes in, a couple of good tackles, get himself back in the game because we know how dangerous he is in front of goal. That could have been dangerous, that ball across field from Corey Cupid if it was read right.
Fiorini after Lincoln played it to him, beating some pressure. This is Lance Roseboom. Plays it back, Luka Nedic. Roseboom again. Neville Morgan. Morgan wants a cross in. He'll move it to his right foot and now give it back. Played into the middle, and I don't think that was intended to be a shot, but it comes across that way anyway from Elliot Goldthorpe. An easy save for Edgar Vargas.
Well, it was a good combination there in the midfield. Lance Roseboom, lovely ball out here to Morgan. Morgan got his head up. There was only one player in the penalty box against 4 white shirts, and I think he chose not to deliver, but he did have space in front of him where he could have run at the defender.
Roseboom was thinking about a quick free kick, but Joao Broom decided that's not what he wanted, and he got in the way of it. Langan will play this one out left. Neville Morgan touches it down, and he'll play it back to Corey Cupid. Cupid for Sewell. Sewell again. Being nice and patient on the ball. He's very comfortable, especially for a center back, having the ball at his feet. It's moved out wide. Fiorini. Goldthorpe, can he hold on here? He can. He'll work it back, and instead of advantage, they'll give a free kick about 30 yards away from goal.
And as you can see, Lance Roseboom picks the ball up. He's looking for a quick free kick. Nothing's on, but that's the type of leadership that the team needs. So it inspires every single player to pick up their game a bit. It looks like Riley Kraft's on there, I believe. Riley Kraft and Fiorini, possibly. Kraft has left it for.
I think Kraft is going to end up taking it. Goldthorpe was in the area.
Yes,
but
that's right.
Riley will take it. He'll play it in near post. A player there, but nothing doing. And that follow-up shot misses the mark. 35 minutes gone now, and it's still Des Moines 0, Peoria 0.
Actually, a very, very good delivery there from Riley Kraft. As we noticed, Goldthorpe just sneaking in behind the two-man wall, just maybe looking to get that ball out wide or pull a player out of the ball. But I tell you what a great delivery. White shirts around it again, clearing their lines.
Long ball coming on the goal kick from Vargas. And across midfield it goes. Menace will head it right back. Birmingham. Side-footed idea there that didn't come across the way he wanted it to. Freitas. He's got Machado now. Machado will send it long. And that was Sabater Olivas who will leave it off. Freitas has it again. And then Freitas will give it to Daniel Orrego. And it looks like Orrego's kind of slotted into that defensive midfield role again.
Well, he's rotating here with Machado, basically. And all they're doing is rotating. As you can see now, they've switched positions again, and Daniel Orrego has come out to the right-hand side. But that's what he'll do. He'll go into a central area. He just rotated there with Machado, and that's what they're going to do. And it can cause problems. But, I mean, they're both quality players. As you can just see a little bit of, off the screen there, just a little bit of pushing with Goldthorpe, and it was Tyler Freitas.
Trying an incisive run down the right side. That was not successful, and Menace wanted the foul. Their cries weren't successful either. That's an excellent clearance from Zeron Sewell in the end, and now Menace could turn defense into attack. Morgan down this left side will play it to midfield. Riley Kraft, the captain. Cupid. Again, Menace opting to be patient. Sewell plays it to Roseboom in defensive midfield. Langen. Fiorini. Roseboom again, the well-traveled veteran. Luka Nedic, defensive midfield partner. Cupid. Nedic. Roseboom again. And a great first touch, but he'll recover. Midfield sends it forward. And that one was just beyond the reach of Elliot Goldthorpe's foot. Goldthorpe working hard to win it back with pressure. Instead, he'll grab the shirt of his opponent, and that'll be a Peoria free kick around midfield. Oh, and that has sparked some controversy and a little bit of tempers flaring, maybe for both sides being a little frustrated they haven't gotten an opening goal. I think what started this, we'll probably get a Royal Mile replay on this, but I think what starts this is Goldthorpe tries to kick it away in a time-wasting move and kicks it into a Peoria City player. Then he gets pushed, and all the extracurriculars start coming out. See this one more time. This kick right here, he's having a conversation and he just kind of dinks it off him. Nothing really, threatening or injury-inducing, but I mean, just a little bit of a gamesmanship move, and he will receive a yellow card for it.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. I think Goldthorpe's just very, very frustrated. He just needs to calm down. Rush of blood to the head. He's given away a free kick. He knows that things aren't going his way right now, so he's just get himself back in the game. And as we can see, Tyler Freitas has also got a yellow card. And out of our picture earlier on, I did mention that they were pushing and pulling shirts and out of the viewer's picture earlier on. So both of those players need to really be careful.
And Tyler Freitas, your left back for Peoria City. He's on thin ice at this point. And, of course, we mentioned striker Elliot Goldthorpe as well. But now they might not be done because officials just having a conversation. The fourth official, Aaron Valley, informing Jake Larson in the center of what he saw. And now we're going to see no yellow card. Okay, so the yellow card is going to be applied instead to number 10, Dominic Machado. That's just going to be a case of mistaken identity. It's what VAR would have done in that case, and it's excellent fourth official work from Aaron Valley that time to say, hey, that shouldn't have gone to Freitas. It's Dominic Machado who should receive the yellow card.
That was actually a good call. And I was just thinking back because I remember seeing jersey number 10, Machado, that actually pushed Goldthorpe. So it was a good call on the official's part.
All is sorted and appears to be well. Luka Nedic winning the ball for a moment, but can't keep it in play. Near touchline, it'll be a throw. Murray will just advance it forward for Daniel Orrego to take. Deep into attacking territory, but Zeron Sewell's there first for Menace. Sent long by Langen. Birmingham was trying to get ahead on that, but couldn't. Orrego back at right back, more or less. We'll play that into midfield, and no man's land at the moment. Neither side have really been able to hold on to possession in that area. They've had to go wide. And on the left side, we'll see potentially a cross in from Joao Brum. Lay it back instead, and it's switched out to the right. And a shot from long distance is blocked pretty quickly, but still Peoria on the ball here. They're threatening. Machado plays it out wide. Nelson down Andrade. Can he cross from here? He can. Headed away. And Neville Morgan will go and chase it. Gets there first, and Menace advancing quickly. Brandon Birmingham goes down. He'll be fouled by Thomas Murray, who doesn't like the call. Murray, the 6'2", 180-pound center back from Tiverton, Rhode Island, went to Tabor Academy. A lot of Northeast flavor in this team, especially for a club that's located in Illinois. That's where their head coach, Ruben Resendez, is a coach. He's at Franklin Pierce University up in the Northeast corner of the U.S. That's where he's drawn a lot of these players from for Peoria City in his opening season. Long ball doesn't find its way to anyone in particular, and Vargas is happy to hold it at his feet.
Well, I tell you what, I've been really, really impressed with Peoria, Danny, just how they move the ball and how they've been disciplined. You know, we're coming up to halftime and going in 0-0. I think they'll be very, very happy with that result. I think the Moines Menace need to be, one, either frustrated, a little bit worried, concerned in certain areas, and I'm sure the gaffer Dean and his coaching staff, Adam and Ross, they'll come up with a few ideas and maybe fix a few things coming out into the second half, but it's not over yet.
Long ball again for Peoria, and it will again find its target. Potential for a cross on this left side. Good defending, and that will make it a free kick for Peoria. That one's got me baffled. I wonder, have they called a handball? Is it possible that the ball didn't go over the goal line, and or maybe they've? Yeah, I think that's what they've. Has it gone off Menace?
Yeah,
It's a corner kick.
It looks like they've given a corner. Yeah,
it's definitely a corner.
Did you see it go out of play? I don't know.
I personally did not. So we'll see a corner kick for Peoria, 43rd minute. A chance for them to go up 1-0 late on in the first half. In comes the cross, and punched out by Petruni. Needed to be there. Played back out to this left wing, where Peoria's found a lot of joy. Looking to put another one in the area. They do. A wicked deflection. Petruni was aware of the danger, but didn't have to make a save. Out for another corner kick.
Yeah, Peoria have been very composed. The ball comes out, received. They know where they're going to go. The overload was out to the far left-hand side. As we take a look at this shot again, as the ball's played inside, again, there's just enough space, no pressure on the ball. And I think Peoria have been allowed a number of strikes from outside the box within this first half, and I think I can count about 4 so far.
Peoria with it again on the back line. They switch the play, a lot of space on that right side for Orrego. Into defensive midfield, Machado slides, but they'll keep possession. Clever back heel, but doesn't amount to any more possession for Peoria. Chipped ball, and this one is long for Birmingham. He's got space, one player to beat, and a player helping as well. Morgan's in the middle. Birmingham is going to go alone, and his effort is blocked. Still players in the area for Menace. They'll win it back. Goldthorpe. A shot, and that one is directly at Edgar Vargas from Riley Kraft. Kraft, I mean, I like the effort to go for goal. It's a good opportunity. End of the day, just not enough to beat Vargas.
Again, that passage of play with the counter-attack, and that's what the Des Moines Menace did really well there with the ball played in by Lance Roseboom. Going forward, Riley Kraft getting onto it, and then Elliot Goldthorpe knowing what Birmingham's going to do with his bending run out to our near side left, and latching onto that pass, cutting in onto his right foot, but well defended there.
We just see some more conversations and some more cards at the end of this. We'll see Kevin Hernandez this time, player who's represented Puerto Rico at the senior national level. He's from San Juan on the Puerto Rican island. And that right there, yeah, you just see the elbow. It's trailing a bit. You can tell it's not what he means to do. It's nothing malicious, but is deserving of a yellow card for me.
Yeah, was there intent? I'm not sure. It wasn't like he was just looking at, but the thing is, players will jump and challenge and protect themselves, you know, with their elbow. It's not like the 1974 matchup between Brazil and Holland where players were just scattered all over the field. It's a little bit different today.
Yeah, it certainly is. Quite a few wild tackles in that one that you mentioned. Brazil-Holland. If you haven't seen highlights of that one, I would highly recommend going to YouTube and checking some of those out. Some crunching challenges in that one. Plenty of action and drama for you here at Valley Stadium, though, of course. You don't have to go anywhere to see that. As we get into stoppage time, still awaiting how much we'll have, but with as many yellow cards as we saw, I think it was 2 apiece, if I'm not mistaken. And plenty of stoppages. I imagine we'll see a couple minutes. We've played almost 1 full minute of stoppage time for now. And this is Neville Morgan. Corey Cupid with it. And Menace spring and attack. They'll play it to Sewell first. And again, you see this patience. Peoria not really drawing themselves out a whole lot, but they're just in spaces that make it hard for Menace to make passes. This one played long by Cupid. And again, against other opposition this season, especially here at home, that's a ball that's got a lot of space on it, and Birmingham's usually off to the races with a chance at goal. Not so with Peoria.
No, because their line has dropped in really deep. They're tracking the runners. It's when the Menace counterattack from their own third of the field going just into the middle third of the field. If they're winning the ball there and counterattacking, this is where they're catching Peoria just unorganized in the shape, so they have to recover.
Goal kick comes from Edgar Vargas. The challenge to midfield. He'll go against Luka Nedic that time. Just across that 50-yard line at Valley Stadium. It's a free kick for Peoria. Another ball lasered down that left side, but no space on that occasion for Peoria to move forward. Menace trying to come the other way, but headed out by Tyler Freitas. Freitas has played in 9 matches this season, 3 clean sheets on the year. He's been a big reason why Peoria have been so solid defensively, especially tonight.
Yeah, now as we look at this, there's a handball there, and that was more intent. As we go back to this passage of play here with the ball was cleared.
This is Morgan. He'll give it to Roseboom, who was in the area a moment ago. Right back to Morgan. Try to ball around Orego's feet, but couldn't get it past the right back. And instead, here comes Peoria. Oh, a little spin move for you. Joao Broom sends it long, but no time for that attack. 3 minutes of stoppage time are up. So 45 minutes gone here at Valley Stadium. For Justin Forster and myself, Danny Kadula, we'll take a break. It's 0-0 after the first half of play. Des Moines Menace struggling a bit against Peoria City. They've met a pretty formidable challenge. We'll see if they can grab all 9 points against their Illinois opposition in the second half. Everything to play for in the second 45, and we'll see you for it in just a moment. Don't go away. More halftime coverage on CISN.
Joints are keeping you from what you really want to do. Whether it's playing with your kids, golfing on the weekends, or dancing with your spouse on date night, DMOS can help. Des Moines Orthopedic Surgeons. DMOS, a nationally recognized team of orthopedic specialists, can help make it happen. Rated among the state's best for joint replacement surgery, DMOS offers the Metro's most comprehensive range of play-restoring orthopedic services, from sports medicine, urgent injury, to physical therapy. At DMOS, we're ready to help you get back to living. Learn more at dmos.com.
Hi, it's Amanda with Holt Plumbing and Heating. With inventory tight, Holt not only anticipated the need, but took the risk of stocking up on our most popular products. While our competitors scramble to find furnaces, air conditioners, and water heaters, we have plenty of stock, ready to be installed. Even though we have extra products, now we see demand at an all-time high. To sweeten the deal, we are also offering 0% financing on your new purchase. Just one more reason why more and more Central Iowans are saying, let Holt handle that.
At DeArmond Ford Indianola and DeArmond Automotive Knoxville, we want you to experience the DeArmond difference.
My dad and I are in the dealership every day to ensure your ownership experience is exceptional.
We're completing phase 2 of our major reconstruction project at our Indianola location, providing a state-of-the-art customer lounge and waiting area and soon-to-be all-new showroom, reinvesting back into our communities.
DeArmond Ford Indianola and DeArmond Automotive Knoxville. Experience the DeArmond difference today. DeArmondAuto.com.
It takes a village to empower a young person to achieve their full potential. Yet today in America, 1 in 3 kids are growing up without a mentor. Together, we can change this. You can be that someone for a young person by becoming a mentor. Join the village. Big brothers, big sisters. Become a big today.
Welcome back to halftime coverage of USL League 2 soccer between New Des Moines Menace and Peoria City. 0-0 between these two sides. Plenty of chances, plenty of effort, but at the same time, it's just lacked that clinical edge from both sides. There's certainly been an edge, though, even if it hasn't been a clinical one.
Yeah, most certainly has been an edge. Like I've said earlier, Peoria have come out here. They've been very, very well organized. They've got some quality players in their team that can dictate the pace. Daniel Orrego, the Colombian, comes inverted into the midfield, causing more of an overload. And it's frustrating the Menace at this point, because I do think that Peoria have had the upper hand in the midfield. And I did say that this game could be won through the midfield and the counter-attacking. But Danny, it's how they move the ball really quickly. You know, and I wonder if there's going to be a change at halftime. Not sure, but it'd be maybe great to get Devin Vega into the game. He's new. He's just arrived from San Antonio. We saw him in training. He's rapid. You know, just to freshen things up. You've got Padilla as well, I think could cause some problems. So I really think that they need to freshen things up. Peoria don't need to change much. Their diamond in the midfield is working. It definitely is, and the overloads are working and causing problems up front with Hernandez and Olivas.
For Peoria, what do you think it's going to take, you know, if that midfield diamond's working, which it seems like it is, what's it going to take for them to go on and get that goal? What does Des Moines need to be aware of to keep them from that?
They need to be a little more clinical in front of goal. I mean, they've had chances, but hey, credit to Joey Petruni. I mean, he's pulled off some good saves, and also, you know, some of the underrated players, like we never talk about Connor Langen. You know, Connor Langen is so consistent. Sewell has actually come in and intercepted and made some really good tackles. And Corey Cupid now in the back with his pace to help. Obviously, we know why that decision's been made now. But my concern is when the ball's played into wide areas, is Sewell being pulled out of position, because that happened just 5 minutes prior to the half, which left space in behind. That's really the role of one of the holding midfielders, is to cover that space. And I think they've just got to be really, really careful, because, again, I talk about Kevin Hernandez and Olivas. I mean, they are just drifting off shoulders. They're finding that space, but they're not clinical in front of goal.
Peoria making it difficult on Des Moines, especially with their attacking two. More halftime coverage coming in just a moment, including a recap of how we got to this 0-0 scoreline. See you guys in just a moment on CISN.
Obsessively, relentlessly at your service. To me, it means being there 24/7. Rain or shine, during storms, after storms.
Being a first responder to the community, to my customers.
Being there to get the customers back on and to see the smiles on their face.
To provide the kind of reliability that we can hold our heads high about.
And we want to keep our customers safe. Safety's first around here.
And that's rewarding.
Hi, I'm Joe the Car Guy with Westside Auto. I'm excited to tell you about our new lifetime oil change plan. When you purchase our plan, you'll never have to pay for an oil change again. If you get a different car, simply transfer the plan over. If that car's oil needs are different than your original plan, just pay the difference. It couldn't be simpler. You won't have to worry about inflation or prices going up. Give us a call at Westside Auto Pros to get details on the lifetime oil change plan. And remember, when I say lifetime, I mean your lifetime, not just your car's.
Here in the heartland, at the heart of everything cool, Greater Des Moines is more than its features. It's a feeling. A feeling of discovery and wonder everywhere you turn. Catch what you've been missing. Des Moines, the S's are silent, our city is booming.
When I think about the mini pitch initiative, I think about creating equal access to allow youth to have confidence in themselves, to develop teamwork. You know, for me, sports were always a huge part of my life, and I want other people to have that same experience that I did. When you revitalize space in the community, you're able to allow people to come together. We've worked really hard with the U.S. Soccer Foundation over the past couple years and bringing pitches all over the country. We're really proud of being able to create spaces for kids to play and grow. at the end of the day, soccer is just a conduit. It's allowing kids to develop and giving them the tools that they need for life. That's what soccer means to me.
Last match of the regular season, and Menace have more work to do if they are going to leave the regular season in 2022 on a high note. 0-0, as you see, between Peoria City visiting it from 5 hours away in Illinois and your Des Moines Menace here in West Des Moines, Iowa. Justin Forster joins myself, Danny Gatulik. Justin, thoughts on that first half as we take a look back at some of the more memorable moments?
Yeah, well, Peoria got the first shot here on target with a lovely ball played outside there by Tyler Freitas. Cuts in onto his right foot, time and space, but what a great save. Just tipped over the bar there by Truly. Great starting position. Here we see Neville Morgan, little jink jive. We call him the Calypso King, and what a absolutely good save there on the near post. Edgar Vargas' starting position was good. Unexpected, definitely. Here we have Birmingham just cutting in onto his right foot, but as you can see, there was cover, little deflection. And again, Vargas had that near post covered. Here's a little bit of action here with Elliott, I think, coming in trying to pull a shirt. Yeah, he does. That's just pure frustration. Elliott did pick up a yellow card from this, and out of frustration, he just goes in. It's just a simple flick. There's a little bit of chirping going on between the two players. Now a little bit of argy-bargy with Tyler Freitas and Machado getting involved. Machado picking up a yellow card as well on that. And also, Hernandez picked up a yellow card later on in the game. So it's Peoria on 2 and the Des Moines Menace on 1.
Yeah, that's right. So Hernandez has his first yellow card of the season, a Puerto Rican international, of course, still being national as a U.S. citizen. But Adrián Sabater Olivas has 4 yellow cards on the season, so I wouldn't be shocked to see him get booked as well. This is a Peoria side that aren't willing to get physical, to be aggressive and to kind of get in Menace's head a little bit as well. It feels like at times a bit of mind games.
Yeah, the mind games are coming with their feet. Just the way they keep in the ball and pinging it around one touch. These short little, dinky little one-touch passes. And like I said, the Menace need to overload these certain areas of the field, central areas in the half space, especially in the midfield, in the middle third of the field. And that's where they're having issues. However, but on the counterattack, Birmingham and Elliott have the pace to get in behind. I think maybe Kraft should drop in a bit deeper to pick up the ball or rotate. Leave Birmingham up front and just rotate with Goldthorpe.
And I mean, we look at this bench. We talked about Devin Vega earlier on, an attacking midfielder who's got a lot of quality. We can see him in a few different roles in this front three, if you like. What do you like about him, and what makes him a guy who could be, relevant off the bench?
When you look at him, and we talk about Lionel Messi and short players like that, seeing him in training, and it doesn't matter at the end of the day what size you are, but watching him in training, he's nifty, he's quick, he's got a good eye for goal, good eye for the pass, his awareness, he's always scanning. He plays in the 10 with Riley Kraft, and it just depends what the gaffer's looking for here. They want to win their last regular league game. Do they make a commitment somewhere in the midfield as far as Lance or Luca and go with one? But then what they might have to do is pull Elliott Goldthorpe in a little bit deeper and then let Devin Vega just have a little bit of a free roll.
Plenty of options. You could make some one-for-one, like-for-like switches. You could change the formation up a bit. Plenty of options in front of head coach Dean Johnson and his staff. We'll see what he decides to do and what Menace are able to put together in half number 2. Right after this final break, second half coverage in a moment. Do not go away. You're listening to the home of the Menace, CISN.
At DeArmond Ford Indianola and DeArmond Automotive Knoxville, we want you to experience the DeArmond difference.
My dad and I are in the dealership every day to ensure your ownership experience is exceptional.
We're completing phase 2 of our major reconstruction project at our Indianola location, providing a state-of-the-art customer lounge and waiting area and soon-to-be all-new showroom, reinvesting back into our communities.
DeArmond Ford Indianola and DeArmond Automotive Knoxville. Experience the DeArmond difference today. DeArmondAuto.com.
One more time.
Come on, one more.
One more?
Looking good. Done.
No, one more.
One more. Riding stance.
What do you think? One more set? Fine, 2 more sets.
One more.
Let's go, squad. One more.
One more.
3, 2, 1.
One more, man.
Oh, man. All right, little bro.
Breakfast? One more. Yeah, I'm not hungry either. One more?
Want more? One more, Dad.
Why do businesses succeed? The Better Business Bureau sees the traits of successful businesses every day. It's not easy, but it is simple. The BBB fosters trust between Iowa businesses and consumers.
Visit bbb.org.
Second half awaits for Des Moines Menace as they take on Peoria City. 0-0 at the halftime break. But 45 more minutes to play to see if the boys in black and red can find one more home win in the regular season to cap things off. Peoria City at times looked like the better side, but Menace with a lot of quality and no changes in this halftime lineup. It looks like the same team that went out in the first 45 is the team that will be tasked, at least in the first few minutes of the second 45, with grabbing a goal and grabbing a win.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see how both teams come out. I'd be interested to hear what Dean Johnson and his coaching staff have said to the players at halftime. But I'm telling you what, Ruben, the head coach for Peoria, I'm sure he's going to be really chuffed, maybe a little bit upset that they haven't at least scored a goal in the first half.
Well, we'll see if either side can accomplish the feat in half number 2, underway for the second half. If you're just joining us, moving from right to left in front of you is the visiting Peoria City, and Menace going left to right in their black, and a chance for them to get forward now. Could it be the opener? A second effort. Oh, and again snatched at it. A third go. That goes nowhere either, and I don't think they even allowed him to take that shot. I wonder if maybe just a glancing handball.
I think it was a handball, to be honest with you. That was Goldthorpe coming in to pick up the rebound. Birmingham breaking into the box, and that was actually magnificent. As we look at this, Birmingham on his left foot, what a great save there by Vargas, and Elliot Goldthorpe picking up the rebound, lashed at it, but it bounced up and a handball.
Yeah, he's had a couple of chances. He's been in great areas so far. Would love to see him grab at goal number 6 on the season. Kraft loses possession, but Luka Nedic is there to recover. Zeron Sewell. Corey Cupid, left side of defense. That's a guy that, as we look in the second half, with players coming in, players coming out, who could end up in a lot of different positions. We've seen Corey play, at wing back. We've seen him play in central midfield. I honestly think we could see him at attacking midfield if Coach Dean really wanted that. Yeah, we could see him all over the pitch, and that's a guy who we can expect to move around a bit.
Yeah, Dean's mentioned that he is a utility player. It was an interesting change. I didn't really expect that when I saw the lineup on Friday in training. However, I can see why. It's for the pace at the back, but Corey Cupid can adjust. I mean, he's played as a wing back you know, on the left-hand side. So he's had to slot into a back four anyway. So he has that ability to readjust in certain areas. You know, it'd be interesting if he moves out wide, you know, later on in the game.
Certainly got the speed to be dangerous out there. And that will be a bear hug from Gianluca Fiorini. Free kick is the result.
That was actually a very good press there by the Menace. Now they're pressing, and they weren't allowing the Peoria to be comfortable on the ball. It was a 3v3 situation. Unfortunately, the free kick was given away by Gianluca Fiorini.
And ball given away again, and there'll be another free kick in the attacking half of things. I think it was Gio Alves who went down in the end, and oh, they won't give a free kick actually. I thought they had done, but instead we'll play on, and it was a throw-in for Menace that resulted from that run of play. So Alves was a bit disappointed by that decision, but Menace get the ball all the same. Connor Langan will play it to Zeron Sewell. Cupid, we spoke about him a moment ago. And that effort from midfield is a little bit wide. So a throw-in once again for Peoria City at midfield.
Actually, you can see that a little more space here as the Menace have regrouped, and a little more patience. Earlier on, when Langan got the ball, Riley Kraft told him just go back, and as the ball was switched, the gaps were, the passing lanes were opening up, and that's when Goldthorpe came in to receive it.
Right side of attack, a quick ball in, and a claw from Batruni is just enough to keep it out of the path of, I believe that was Kevin Hernandez running in at that point. See a free kick now, and I'm a bit surprised. We could have played advantage. They'll play it quickly anyway. Oh, and they'll be forced to bring it back, as Jake Larson thought that was a little bit too early of a restart for his liking.
Let's go back to that save. That save from Joey Batrulli was absolutely fantastic. Like you said, he got his right claw to that ball, but just lurking in behind him, Hernandez wouldn't have even had to jump. Would have just hit him on the head and gone in. So that save was absolutely fantastic.
Midfield ball bouncing around, and again, a lot like the first half, neither side have felt really truly comfortable in midfield and possession in that center of the park. It hasn't changed a whole lot since half number one. Sewell will move it out left to Cupid. Menace have seen more of the ball in their own end, though, being able to more patiently develop plays. Cupid seeing a lot of the ball in these first 5 minutes. And now his fellow center back, Zeron Sewell from Morant Bay, Jamaica. The Jamaica College for high school. He'll send it right back to Cupid. Long ball for another Caribbean. Neville Morgan, he's not able to hold on. And again, a lot of space. Menace are struggling to keep Peoria off the ball in moments like this, and now they can get forward. Here's Freitas. Tyler Freitas will move it out left. That's a clever little dink, and it's back to him. A nice 1-2. Freitas is dispossessed, but it's out for a corner kick for Peoria.
And that looked like Luka Nedic just coming across to cover that space, which is right. Keeping Sewell in the box there with Corey Cupid. And again, the quick switch, the one-touch passing, but the press on the far side and the overload in 2v1. And that was well played by Machado out there. And then the quick switch came in.
Joao Broom plays this one in, and it's headed to the top of the box. Headed further away by Riley Kraft on that occasion. It's sent back in. Nobody really there in a dangerous position, and Joey Batruni just able to keep that ball over the line, make sure it doesn't go out for a corner. And thanks to his efforts, Menace back on the ball on the back line. Midfield, chested by Fiorini to Goldthorpe, and he'll send this long. Wanted to find the run of Birmingham, but too long for him.
Yeah, and the back line was dropping as well. They're all in sync, and it's just easier to mark it. Birmingham started his run, so maybe Goldthorpe's. I know Birmingham wanted it, but that was probably the moment to bring the ball back. And I have here noticed in possession, so what the Menace are trying to do is stretch the diamond apart to create some passing lanes down the middle.
Peoria on the ball, and Menace doing, I think, a better job of tightening up spaces for the most part and not allowing Peoria City to move through. And now this is a bad giveaway. A chip from Birmingham, and you like the creativity. Didn't have the execution that time.
I think Larson is given a handball. Yep, I think Birmingham actually handled the ball. It looked like it from up here, so he's given that.
He sure has, and so Vargas will elevate this ball forward. And from there, he'll be able to restart the play. 53 minutes gone, still plenty of time for either team to take this game by the scruff of the neck. And Peoria will again win the ball back in attacking territory. Right side now probing. A ball into the box, and players in white were in the area, but Petruni's able to get there first with some help from his back line.
That was a fantastic delivery from the right-hand side. And I believe it was from that man, Estrada. It was a great delivery with the right foot, and Joey Petrini did well just beyond the outstretched leg of Zeron Sewell, I believe it was.
Corey Cupid set to take a Menace free kick. Like you mentioned, Nilson de Andrade on that right side does an excellent job whipping a ball in, and Menace were just about equal to it, but it's those little chances that make you fear a little bit the potential for Peoria to go up one. That's another giveaway of possession, and Peoria looking to break. They'll give it away as well. And this is Kraft connecting the midfield. He'll give it out wide for Fiorini. He's got it again, Kraft does. Fiorini will play it back. And this is Connor Langen again. Langen looking around. He'll find Nedic. Right side, here's Langen. Sewell will send it forward, and this is bounced out to Fiorini. Fiorini's got space. Can he work with it now? Play it back to Kraft. Kraft maneuvering up the right side, laid it off for Fiorini, and he can play it to the middle. He can. Goldthorpe lays it off. Birmingham just wide. Great build-up play. Couldn't quite put it in the back of the net.
Well, that was much better. Quick combinations just outside the penalty box on the right-hand side. Fiorini did really, really well there. As you can see, just a little combination there with Kraft. Looks inside. Goldthorpe tries to get it onto his left foot. Not quite a good touch. Deflects. The defender kicks it across, and Birmingham didn't quite connect it. And it just seems to be the night so far, where the touch is off, the shots are all off.
Well, trying to catch Petruni off guard in that moment was a shot from Dominic Machado, if I'm not mistaken. The Attleboro, Massachusetts native. Had a go, and really he wasn't far off, was he, from 40 yards away? Just over the bar.
I'll tell you what, Joey Petruni was scampering back towards his goal line. Luckily for him, it went over the bar, but you know, it's awareness of the players and taking those opportunities.
Dangerous giveaway for a moment, but Menace able to clean it up. They'll give it away a second time, though. And Freitas had the ball taken away. A couple of players for Menace pressing. This is a ball from Nedic, and it's going to find its target. It's Goldthorpe. Could go for goal from here, and he cannot slot it home. Just wide. And you see the look on his face. Disappointed in himself. That was a brilliant opportunity to go 1-0 up.
Yeah, and it was well won in the midfield prior to that, and the lovely ball played in over the defender's head. Goldthorpe gets his head up. He did have Birmingham to his left, just making a late run in. I think it was indecisive when he looked left, to be honest with you.
It's easy to get caught between two minds, isn't it, in that type of scenario where you can go for goal, you have a chance to pass it back as well, and you're just trying to decide in the moment what the best decision is. So played out wide by Goldthorpe. It's a chance for Morgan to run. Beats his defender. Crosses into the middle, and nearly an own goal. That came off a Peoria defender, and it was inches away from finding the back of the net. Menace getting closer, but still no goal.
I go back to the critical save there by Petroni, and now the confidence is building within the team with the combination play, not quite clinical in front of goal, taking the chances while they can, but you can see now that the confidence is starting to grow.
Confluence corner kick coming up for Riley Kraft. A can hear the fans getting into it. They're stomping their feet. In comes the ball from Kraft. Back post, a foul. Or no! No foul, and it's a goal. Menace are ahead out of nothing. But will they count it? I thought I heard a whistle from the referee, but I think they're gonna give this goal, and it's gonna go to Zeron Sewell. What a time to get the first goal of the match. Sewell slams it home.
As you can see, what a great header there by Sewell. I thought the ref blew his whistle, but he latched onto his rebound there. And look at him. He's off. He scored. And I tell you what, he's so excited. What a great finish there. And it's what the Menace needed, because they weren't playing well up until that moment. As we can see this again. First header of the challenge. There was appeals. Did well there, but look at the celebration.
I really thought I heard a whistle, but I'm very thankful that we didn't. 1-0 Menace, and you can take nothing away from an incredible strike from Zeron Sewell. We've seen him do it in training. I mean, you'll have striker against goalkeeper one-on-one battles in training, and you'll see it, and you'll see somebody make a great finish, and you realize that's the center back. That's Sewell, who's just blasted one home, and now he's done it on the pitch too, deserving to get his goal. And in the meantime, there's the introduction of one Devin Vega.
And I believe that
we're also going to see Felipe D'Agostini come in. So D'Agostini up top. And he's replaced Brandon Birmingham, if I'm not mistaken. Birmingham is off. D'Agostini is on. And if I'm correct in this, I believe Devin Vega has come in as well. Not sure who's gone off yet. And there was also a substitution, if that wasn't enough for you, for Peoria. Not sure who that is yet. In the meantime, we're back underway. 1-0 Menace. Bit of a crazy piece of play. But Menace have finally settled, and they finally got that goal. Right side, this is Gianluca Fiorini to throw it in. Goldthorpe on it now, and he'll give away possession. Peoria coming the other way, and they could have a dangerous chance in front of goal. Working to create one. Moved out to the left. Freitas. Excellent defending. A diving header by Cupid. Still in the area for Peoria. Machado. Plays it back. On the back line, it's Wes Gibson, but they'll advance it. I think they were playing advantage for a moment, but a foul will go against Luka Nedic. Attacking free kick for Des Moines.
Well, some great changes here to Danny. I mean, look at the quality that's coming with Vega coming into the game to make his appearance. As Peoria setting up a free kick.
And we can go ahead and confirm Devin Vega comes in for Riley Kraft. So Kraft is off, Birmingham is off. A couple of players that Des Moines would certainly like to call upon with healthy, fresh legs in 6 days in the first round of the Central Playoffs. This one cleared away from the right side of the box. Fiorini got it out. Still in the area. Right side of attack. Played in, and Petruni is equal to that effort. So, Devin Vega, to summarize, is in at attacking midfield for Riley Kraft. And Brandon Birmingham comes off, replaced by Felipe D'Agostini at the striker position. So a couple of attacking changes for Menace. This is not a team you want to sit back and try to hold a 1-0 lead against.
Absolutely not, because there's quality in this Peoria side, but it's how they respond to it. I mean, this was against the run of play. It was a great piece of a passage of play by the Menace. They had a couple of good chances. The confidence was booming, and I'll tell you, go back to the Joey Petrini save. But what a well-taken goal. The header came off a set piece finally, off the corner on the rebound.
Great point. Corner number 1 that's found the back of the net all season long. This one's headed away. Peoria are not giving up on this one. No surprise there. Freitas gives it to Gio Alves. Tried the switch of play, but Neville Morgan was there. D'Agostini hooks it. Tries to play it to himself there. Inventive, but no cigar. Right side, here's Thomas Murray. He'll switch the play on a long ball, but nobody is there. In white and gold. Lance Roseboom in midfield. Nearly gives the ball away. He'll earn himself a free kick in the meantime. This is Connor Langen. He'll play it out wide to the touchline. Fiorini back to Langen. High pressure from Peoria right now. And it will result in a giveaway of possession. We've seen that on a few occasions. Peoria with a very effective press.
Yeah, and it just showed there with the press pushing onto Lance Roseboom and into the midfield. Roseboom did really well there just to hold the ball up, getting clipped on his heels, earning a free kick and looking for a quick free kick. He's just showing that role again. Wants to get the ball forward, even though they're leading 1-0 in this position, but they really want to just keep the momentum going their way.
Fiorini trying to move this into the attacking half, and he could not get the pass he needed from Goldthorpe. Goldthorpe to press high, but can't get there in time. It is cleared out of play. So Goldthorpe's pressure will win Menace a throw in at midfield. Fiorini to take. And again, I do believe there was a change a while back after the goal. Well, we'll get to that later. Goldthorpe gets on the ball, looking to go himself. Undergoes a challenge, stays on the ball, again goes down. There's no call that time either. And we'll play on. Good defending in the end from Peoria. And they'll spring a counterattack. 1-on-2 down this right side. Menace's two central defenders were Johnny on the spot to get there. And now here's Corey Cupid. End-to-end stuff at the moment. And that's going to continue. Vega will leave it off for Nedic, who plays it long. And will D'Agostini get there? He won't quite. Good header to play it down to the goalkeeper, Vargas. Freitas has got it.
Felipe D'Agostini showing some pace there, and I tell you what, caught the defender by surprise, realizing I better get to this ball quickly, get it back into the goalkeeper, and those fresh legs. And D'Agostini's, I mean, he's been out for a while, so he's hungry to come back.
Yeah, you're right. He's played in 5 matches, started 3, but been a while since we've seen him here at Valley Stadium. Of course, that's where all 4 of the last 4 matches for Menace have been played. Nice little run and play. Dribbling from Goldthorpe. He'll cross it in. Diving header away from Murray. And now coming the other direction. In midfield, this is going to be sent back out wide. Daniel Orrego. Move it up the pitch, and there was a chance for a 1-2 down that right wing, but they didn't see it on that occasion. Run through is stopped by Nedic, but it will be whistled as a foul and a yellow card as well. Nedic does not agree, but that'll be the second yellow card against Menace on the evening.
I don't think there was intent there. Maybe he was a little bit late. As we look at the replay here again, as Peoria now mounting pressure. I mean, he just kind of hooked his foot round to win the ball. I'm not sure about that, to be honest with you, but he did get a warning earlier on in the game where Larson gave him a chance, and I think this was the second offense.
Yeah, I think it's accumulation of fouls at this point rather than that one being yellow card worthy in itself. Free kick comes in, played into the box, headed away by Sewell, and Menace will have a promising counter stopped for a yellow card. That is given to the captain, Thomas Murray. And Peoria City are fuming. But interesting that they called the play back there for a Menace free kick because it looked like they had a chance to break on the counter.
Yeah, very interesting, but I think it's on the goalkeeper. And I'm trying to figure out where the yellow card was, because Joey Petruni came over the top, so maybe it was just because of the body. I'm not sure. Very interesting.
I think they're a bit unlucky that time. So maybe 2 straight unlucky yellow card decisions. 1 for each side, and we'll play on. So Joey Petruni, after all that, will be able to get us back underway. 67th minute, Des Moines up 1-0. Not a secure lead necessarily, but they have put a lot of work in to earn it against the quality Peoria side. Midfield, Vega will send it forward. Nice little dummy, and Morgan was trying to get on the end of it, but instead it falls all the way through to Vargas. He'll clear it away. In midfield, Fiorini's back on. Fiorini back for Lincoln. Now it's Devin Vega. Fiorini. That ball up the line is blocked. Luka Nedic will try one of his own, bouncing along the touchline and eventually finding its way over for a Peoria throw.
Well, you can see Peoria trying to claw their way back into this game. You can see the urgency with the Menace now and how they're closing down and picking up, because they've had to adapt to this really rapid, quick style of play.
D'Agostini with a chance. He'll have a go, and it's blocked. Peoria can come the other way. Sorry for the interruption on that occasion.
Oh, no problem, Danny. You've got this, man. You've got it.
Right side, Peoria City trying to spring a counter of their own. On the right side, and that is well dealt with by Corey Cupid, but he gives it away. 2 players on him and succumb to the pressure. Cross into the box. Cleared out by Roseboom. But Peoria have numbers, and they'll try and go again. Freitas gives it away. Machado sustained a challenge, but he'll hold on to it. And now Freitas again. From Providence, Rhode Island, but he's got Portuguese heritage. And this one crossed into the box. Looking for the run of Gio Alves, but he wasn't able to get there in time. Joey Petruni is able to get there first.
And also well read there by Corey Cupid. He saw where the defender was over his shoulder and just left it for Petruni. That's the communication piece.
Bad giveaway by Devin Vega in midfield. And here come Peoria. Looking to take advantage. They're down a goal, and they would love to go into this playoff season with a little bit more momentum than a 1-0 loss. They are not going to give up on this result. Midfield, here's Nedic. And Fiorini's got it. Goldthorpe sends it long. Looking for the run of Nedic, and it is too long. Vargas able to pick it up. And the referee will come back to an injury. And to figure out who that is, it might be Joao Broom there. Still trying to figure out who it is. 70th minute, and it's 1-0 Menace. What's been better in this second half? What's caused Menace to go up 1-0 in your mind, Justin?
I think the possession piece. Not forcing everything to go forward every single time when it's not on. That's what was happening in the first half. They've been a little more patient now in the build-up, and they're trying to open up the diamond in the midfield, which they've been successful at. And they've got the quality to draw players out of position. I think that's been so much better. And then obviously the combinations around the box like we saw earlier on, they just need to be a little more clinical in front of goal. And obviously Ziran Sewell, who's playing his way into man of the match, just how he's defending and how he's broken up play and intercepting passes and scoring the goal. And you could see his grit, determination after he scored that goal, trying to get the whole team going.
You see Dominic Machado stepping off. Attleboro High School alum. Of course, you mentioned earlier is from Attleboro, Massachusetts, plays for the Providence Friars. He will be replaced now by Josep Silvestre. Normally a defender, but I think he'll slot into defensive midfield on this occasion. So Machado will step off, and there's the man to replace him, Silvestre from Cranston, Rhode Island. One of many Rhode Islanders in the team. Cranston East High School, where he plied his high school soccer trade and then went on to play for those very same Providence Friars. Silvestre is 5'7", 153, another smaller player, but just has a lot of talent. You'll see his movement is very high quality, and even though he's off the bench, he'll be a guy to keep an eye out for. Meanwhile, speaking of the bench, Menace will make a couple more changes. You're going to see the introduction of Brian Padilla in attack, and that probably means the end of Elliot Goldthorpe's night, given that Brandon Birmingham's already come off. That is the case, and then you'll also see Luka Nedic step off. It's a defensive midfielder being replaced, I believe, by Jaden Ramsey Kelly. So we'll see a center back in Kelly come in, and I believe that'll move Corey Cupid up into defensive midfield. That's my expectation for the formation at this point. So Nedic and Goldthorpe step off after Kraft and Birmingham did so a few minutes back. Jaden Ramsey Kelly moves in. He'll play center back, and Corey Cupid most likely moves up.
It's interesting. I like to see this move here. It's just slotted into a central position here in the midfield. Corey Cupid still looks like he's at left center back. I have a feeling that the change is going to be the Ramsey Kelly. I have a feeling will play in the midfield.
He might just. We haven't seen him do so this season, but certainly has the talent to do it. Backline, Thomas Murray. Played over to Wes Gibson. And this is Freitas. Freitas does a nice job of beating Fiorini on this near side. He is impeded by a shirt pull. Fiorini happy to take a foul and let that go. In the meantime, well, that didn't take long. About 30 seconds in, Brian Padilla has already received a yellow card. Probably get a couple of jokes about that from the team later on. 73rd minute, that's another yellow card against Menace.
We didn't really need to do that. You know, now he's on a yellow card. I'm just trying to look at some of the changes here. Earlier on, the foul from Fiorini was it was a professional foul just to slow the game down so that his teammates in that could recover into decent starting positions.
This one sent long down the right side, and no space to operate in there. Menace making sure of that. Midfield, Vega lowers his shoulder and he'll move down the left side. He's got Morgan to play to, and he does play it to Morgan. Morgan thought about a first-time cross. Instead, he'll play it second time. Just a little bit ahead of the run. The follow-up shot off the bar, and rockets back into play. What a shot that was. So unlucky for Gianluca Fiorini, but he's got another chance on the ball now. Gives it away. Vega plays it through. Another great incisive ball. A shot, and that might have hit the crossbar again. Definitely hit the side netting, and it's out of play for a goal kick. Fiorini with a masterful strike a moment ago. So unlucky to hit that very top corner of the post.
Well, I tell you what, it was a great strike. What a ball in there by Neville Morgan. But that strike there by Fiorini, it was going up a 90, top bin, and just hitting the crossbar. But just after that little pass, Devin Vega, that nifty little pass that he played through, he's showing his quality. The ball that was played through for D'Agostini. So there's a little bit of class, a little bit of flair that's been brought into this game. And if it carries on like this, they might be able to get a second goal.
Well, a bad giveaway means that Peoria have a chance to get one of their own and level things, but nice job in midfield. The man, Zeron Sewell, moving forward. He'll play it up the line. Right side, it's D'Agostini. Can he cut in? He will. And he played it through. I think he wanted the run of Roseboom to his left. Now here's Ramsey Kelly. Ontario native. He'll send a cross in. Not of the highest quality, but still some pressure. And that will be a foul, so a free kick resulting for Peoria. That will allow them to alleviate a bit of that pressure up top.
Yes, you can see a change now in confidence. The Menace have a little more courage now to go for it. They really are trying to. D'Agostini is, you can see with his little tricks and movement. The quality of the cross there from Ramsey Kelly just wasn't good enough. Luckily, there was no counter-attack. Fiorini giving away a foul.
Ramsey Kelly playing in his 6th match this season, usually utilized at center back, but being dispatched as a defensive midfielder for now. Played his college ball with the Oakland Golden Grizzlies in Michigan. Now a throw in for Peoria City near side. Attacking half, it's Freitas. Seen a lot of the ball in the second half. Freitas has been a part of a lot that's been good up this left side. And meanwhile, Peoria will play it back and try and patiently build up. Got almost 15 minutes still to try and find an equalizer, and Menace would love a second goal to solidify things a bit.
Yeah, I think you're right, Danny. They will need a second goal because you know that Peoria will come at them with 14 minutes left of the match. They will put pressure on the Des Moines Menace, that's for sure. They just got to keep their structure right. You know, the back line compact. Neville Morgan is slotting in at times into a left back position. Fiorini's doing the same on the right. They're staying really, really disciplined. And then the counter-attack is what's actually catching Peoria because they're not recovering quick enough.
Chance for Peoria to attack. They'll send it out right with Daniel Orrego. And it'll be played back. Murray. And they'll give it to Wes Gibson. Gibson advancing it forward, a lofted ball, and no one in the area in the end. Connor Langen's got plenty of space. He's content to play it back to Petruni. Across the face of goal, Corey Cupid's got it now. Petruni again. Just inviting a bit of pressure from Peoria. You don't want to give it away here, but if you can convince everybody to come up, and that is the giveaway that they didn't want. Peoria with numbers, they can get forward. Not the best pass, and Menace able to get there as a result. Nice work by Ramsey Kelly to fake a move outside. Instead, he'll play it out wide for D'Agostini. D'Agostini's got space, ahead of steam, lays it off. And the effort from the edge of the box is just over the bar from Padilla.
Great leg work there, actually, from Felipe D'Agostini. He's been an impact since he's come into this game. Padilla should have done better with that left-footed shot, but as you see, what a nice little pass in. Padilla, well, it was a little bit difficult, actually. It was under pressure there, easy for me to say from here. Opened up his hips and tried to bend it into the top corner.
In the second half, it's felt like the Menace of old that we've seen all season long, just peppering the goal with shots and opportunities. Not what we saw in the first half, but second half, even though Peoria stayed at their level of quality, I think Menace have raised theirs.
Yes, they most definitely have, Danny, but it's always the second half. I guess there's just a burst of energy. The changes come in, that helps out a lot. But it's always nervous energy in the first half.
Certainly is. Roseboom advances into midfield. Devin Vega. Vega, so tricky on the dribble. He's got it on this left side. Gets taken down, and it's just outside the penalty box. A dangerous set piece will come all the same, and you just wondered if the referee would show another yellow card. I think he's right not to do so.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, but yeah, you see Devin Vega just showing his class as he drifts inside. Yep, no real intent to foul. The ball was won. Machado coming in to try win the ball. Estrada, my apologies on that one. Trying to come in to win the ball. And just taking down Nevin as he was trying to break in.
Yeah, Vega just saw the player next to him. It was Nilton de Andrade on that occasion. Meanwhile, the referees just had a conversation. Now we'll come back. The free kick comes in. So many Menace players there. Somehow, Edgar Vargas was able to punch that one away from danger. So many places he couldn't play it to. Somehow he found when he could play it away in.
Well, he actually did very well there, did Edgar Vargas, because he was under pressure by three attacking players, as you could see.
Well, in the meantime, we'll see a few changes. We'll tell you that coming on is Miles Safanavong. He's an outside midfielder by trade. That'll be a guy to keep an eye on. A couple more changes coming in. You see him on your screen now. So that'll be Caleb Ragland, Western Illinois Leatherneck. And you'll see Jack Imasodi as well. Those are three changes for Peoria. Meanwhile, stepping off for Menace are both the outside wingbacks, interestingly enough. Neville Morgan and Gianluca Fiorini will step off in their place. Alex Saravia looks like he'll move over to the right side and occupy Fiorini's place. And Narciso Cervantes, who we've seen in central midfield and in a wingback spot, will play on the left side of defense. Menace in attack, looking to create another chance. They want to rest on their laurels in this situation. Played out from the wide side, and that will only yield a corner kick. And with Riley Kraft off the pitch, it's a bit weird. You got to figure out who's going to take it.
Yeah, there was a change, player for player, same position with Kraft and Vega. It looks like Padilla stepped up to take it, left-footed in swinger.
Brian Padilla ready to play this one in. But we can't get there yet because there's some physicality, some action inside the box before we get there. And on the floor for now is Nilton de Andrade. And he will receive a bit of treatment. In the meantime, just another look at a Royal Mile replay here. And it's still difficult to see exactly how he found his way to the ground on that occasion. Still requiring some treatment though, so we'll give you an update on that when we can. Speaking of updates, we mentioned Miles Safanavong has come in to midfield, as well as Caleb Ragland. And we're going to see Jack Imasodi step off. We know that for sure. We also know that Gio Alves is off the pitch. And of course, Nilton de Andrade could be a candidate to be subbed off at some point. We're also going to see Daniel Oliveira, another Portuguese player, come in. So that's what we know so far. After that jumbled mess, a cross comes in on the corner kick from Padilla. And meanwhile, a kicking out, and this could get interesting. Lance Roseboom, one of the more collected players on the pitch, was just kicked out at, and I think we could see a potential sending off. Zeron Sewell still in the mix. And boy howdy, has Jake Larson had some work to do with the whistle this evening. Don't envy his position as both teams are mobbing him at the moment, trying to get their way, and you do see him reach for the back pocket. Roseboom is sent off, and it's a double sending off. Roseboom's gone. He'll have to get rid of the armband, and that means he'll miss Friday's match against Menace's first-round opponent in the Central Conference first round, the round of 32 nationally. Roseboom's gone. And obviously it doesn't affect these last 6 minutes as much as it does that next match that's coming up. That's a frustrating one to see Roseboom leave the pitch. You'll see it again, and maybe we'll get an idea. Yeah, right there. There's the kick out. And where is Roseboom's reaction?
I'm just trying to look at this here, Danny, because it started with the player on the ground, and you can see the lashing out, and just trying to get the player's name. Couldn't see it, and I believe it was
It might have been Sabatero Olivas. Trying to find out who that was. Right there, you see it in the middle of your screen right now. He's kicking out multiple times. It's Adrián Sabatero Olivas, so the leading goal scorer for Peoria, sent off. That's the last thing you want if you're Peoria City, because you needed a goal, obviously. So now at this point, well, goodness, I mean, there are no attacking players at this point in the match for Peoria. It's all a jumble of midfielders.
Well, both teams need to calm down, to be honest with you. I mean, it's just, there's too much going on, and it could get worse if they don't calm down. But there was a lash out at Lance Roseboom, and I think all Roseboom did was just a little lean in with his foot. Nothing malicious, but he got absolutely smashed. He could have actually gone to the ground, making it even worse, but he got absolutely smashed. He walked away from this situation, but unfortunately both players have been sent off because of retaliation.
Yeah, and that's what's surprising to me. It looks like Roseboom was trying to pull himself in this situation and avoid that fate from the replay I saw, but referee had a different picture. 86th minute, both teams playing with 10 men. If you're just joining us now, you've missed quite a bit of action, both in terms of the goal that Menace scored earlier on in the second half and a little bit more.
Well, Danny, I think the UFC fight starts at 11 o'clock tonight. So
no, I think it started at 8:30.
I think we're on task for it. Oh, actually, a football match is going to start at 11 o'clock tonight. Just joking, but looking at the shape here, as you can see, Peoria now shaped into a 4-4-1 off the ball, just maintaining that shape. And I'll be interested to see how the Des Moines Menace shape up as well off the ball.
Oh, goodness, what an evening it's been. Connor Langen on the ball. And he will send this one long. That will find Alexon Saravia. The player who's been capped by the El Salvador national team. Also played with the U17 team. He's a dual national, the United States and El Salvador. Grew up in the DC United Academy and spent a couple of seasons with Loudoun United. Over there, the DC United second team. Or at least their affiliate in USL Championship. Joins Vega as a guy with plenty of USL championship experience. And we talk about that. There's a player who's coming in, just actually recently arrived. He's here for his first match, at least watching with Menace. Still getting himself fit and ready to play. But the Shaft Brewer Jr., that's a guy to look out for come Friday in the first round of the playoffs. So much talent he's got. He's played at a variety of clubs in USL Championship. He's also played in MLS itself, was signed by LAFC after they traded $50,000 in allocation money and a super draft pick a few years ago to sign him in their opening campaign. One of the first players that they signed was Brewer Jr. Made 4 appearances for the Los Angeles-based club and has bounced around the West Coast since then. We'll see in USL Championship. Incredible to have a guy like that in the team. Meanwhile, for Menace, just looking to hold on, keep this 1-0 lead. Jaden Ramsey-Kelly, who's slotted out to the right side, it seems. Devin Vega gives to Zeron Sewell. Bit more fluid positionally when you've only got 10 players on the pitch, I think. Saravia will move forward. He's got space. He'll have a go. Near post! And it's so close to finding the back of the net. Just a little bit to the wrong side of that near post.
Well, Saravia just cutting in onto his left foot from here. It did look like it did go in, but Edgar Vargas did have it covered. As you look at the replay coming up here, Saravia drops his shoulder, just goes inside with his right foot, looks to place it inside the goalkeeper. But going back to your point there, Danny, like you said, you know, the Menace need to just keep the ball now coming up to the 90th minute, plus probably about 30 minutes of injury time with all the stoppages we've had. But, you know, I just think that be patient, just like they've done. Be patient now. Keep the ball when you can. The opportunities, like that one moment with Saravia to go maybe kill the game. But now they've just got to stay really, really disciplined, because this 1 minute plus injury time is critical. Stay focused, stay focused.
Throw in at about the midfield line that Alexon Saravia will take in a moment. And you wonder if Menace will try to take the air out of the ball in a sense and try and just see this one through in these last few, well, we say few, there could be quite a few minutes of extra time, as you mentioned, Justin, but, you know, do they just try and hold on to what they have, or do you push for a second this late on and take that risk? I think there's players in this lineup who are capable of doing both.
Yeah, I just keep the ball, see if you can see out the game. And I think now Peoria, they look like they're getting tired now, because they've been really worked here with the possession piece that the Menace have held on to for now.
This one hooked away. Wes Gibson was there, and it is out of play. A Menace throw in. So 90 minutes have been played, and it looks like we'll get 6 minutes of added time to the 90. So what we're hearing for now is 6 more minutes for Menace to try and hold on to a 1-0 lead. It's more than average, obviously, at the end of a match, but I think that's more than fair, given all the stoppages we've seen. Now Peoria with a chance to break after winning the ball in midfield. Can they go forward here? It was De Andrade who was trying to find his way to a goal-scoring chance, but couldn't quite. And so Joey Petruni will just lure him out, take a little bit more time off this clock. Langen will move it out to Saravia. Possession, the name of the game at this point. Langen with it, and not a whole lot of players pressing for Peoria. At the same time, there's exactly one forward in this entire 10-man team for Peoria after Sabater Olivas, the leading goal scorer with 6, was sent off. That does make it more difficult to get forward when you have no forwards. Neither team really with too many attacking reinforcements to call upon, and both teams have made their non-goalkeeper substitutions allowed to them. 92nd minute, a throw-in for Peoria.
And there's still time on the board. I think we've had about two minutes of the additional time, probably about 4 minutes left. I mean, that as a player, those 4 minutes feel like 30 minutes, Danny. So again, we talk about complacency, and this is about managing the game. Can you get the ball into the corners? Can you hold the ball in the corner flag? get the ball in behind them, just continue to do that. I think this would be the moment to kill time. And here's another moment as well. Stoppage, restart, kill a few seconds.
Something that's so frustrating to opponents when you just want to have the ball and you just want to have a chance to grab something. But for your own supporters, it's certainly a relief to be able to hold on to the ball and keep Peoria from gaining chances. 93rd minute, and again, you've got to keep in mind for Peoria, if results would have gone differently last night between FC Manitoba and Thunder Bay, we might see a lot more effort, a lot more energy from them because they would need at least a point to grab themselves a playoff spot. Now, in this scenario, they don't need that point. They're going to the playoffs either way with 3 minutes left after a very long 92. I mean, I would fully understand if they took their foot off the gas just a little bit with the fatigue.
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, obviously the Menace winning this game obviously helps them moving forward with the US Open Cup seedings and that. But again, they don't want to concede. Great communication there by Joey Butrini, calling off Langen and Zeron Sewell. I've been really impressed with the back three so far in this game. You know, coming up to 3 minutes left of the additional time that's been added. But, you know, to give a man of the match today is going to be it's going to be difficult because, you know, Buttruni's played well. I mean, he's in the running. Obviously, the goal scorer is Zeron Sewell, but not just for scoring the goal, but just for his defending attributes today. He's been absolutely fantastic. You know, so, and Connor Langen as well. You know, I mean, Connor's been brilliant. We don't mention his name enough, and he's so consistent. Mr. Consistency, as the gaffer said the other day.
It was well-deserved, that praise on the CISN Radio Hour, our podcast that we produce every week. I want to give you an idea as we let the last couple of minutes tick off the clock of some results and other matches that could affect Menace. We mentioned that they could potentially have the top points per game record in the league if things went their way both here and elsewhere. But before we get there, corner chance after Alexon Saravia won a free kick. Well, we got one result we needed. North Carolina Fusion were second in points per game on the year. They just lost to West Virginia United, dropped all 3 points. That puts Menace right now, as long as they don't concede any goals, in second place. The trouble now is Lionsbridge FC, as Menace will play it in short. D'Agostini will send it back to the back line. No real interest from Menace in going for a second right now. Still a minute and a half left to see out if they want a 1-0 win, but as we were mentioning, Lionsbridge FC, they're the trouble, and currently they are up 7-1 over Commonwealth Cardinals, so that's probably not a result that's likely to switch. So the way things are going now, Fusion already in the clubhouse, they're in third, Menace in second, and Lionsbridge at number 1, unless in the last 15 minutes of the match they decide to give up 6 goals. As long as that doesn't happen at home, Menace will end up second, and that's almost surely enough, no matter what the U.S. Open Cup decides to do, for Menace to have themselves a spot in the U.S. Open Cup next season.
Well, it all depends if Lionel Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe are coming on to score those 6 goals, but I don't see that happening. I think it's looking favorable for the Des Moines Menace. Danny, thanks for that quick update. That was a quick synopsis analysis of what it looks like. You know, obviously we know how tables turn, and there's so much going on, you know, with the point system. But here we go.
How about this? Wide open, so much space, a one-on-one. Just him and the keeper, Vega! An incredible goal, and it was all efforts, all collected, and all the points go to Menace. 2-0, and surely that's enough. Devin Vega, the newbie. Excellent start to his Menace campaign.
Well, Devin Vega came into the game with 15 minutes to go. He's been an impact. He's played some really good combination balls, but well taken. What a finish that is. He opened up his hips and just played the ball past Edgar Vargas, who's had a good game today. But that definitely puts the nail in the coffin here tonight, with the Menace leading 2-0.
Vega, a product of FC Dallas's academy. He's worked really, really hard. Spent a lot of time away from home in San Antonio, away from his family, to have the opportunity to play at the pro level. He's fallen out of those pro ranks, but I imagine he'll be right back there soon with goals like that.
I believe he has a couple of clubs knocking on the door. One is Austin FC, who have already been in contact with his agent.
selfishly we'd love to see him around, but be a great opportunity for him. And Des Moines Menace, with that, have found their way to full-time. It wasn't easy. Plenty of adversity to deal with, plenty of physicality as well, but 2-0 is the overall result, and Des Moines Menace finish not only atop the Deep North Division standings, but atop the Central Conference. We can confirm for you live on air that they'll be hosting both Friday and Sunday the opening 2 rounds of the national tournament. Central Conference quarterfinals and semifinals. They'll be right here at Valley Stadium, and that means they'll be right here on CISN as well. As you see on the graphic on your screen, we don't know who their opponents will be yet. We know it can't be Peoria, and it can't be a division winner from somewhere else. Other than that, it could be anyone. Justin, thoughts on this final result, as we'll save those actually and come back in just a moment. Let's switch things up a bit, take a quick break, and we'll be right back on the home of the Menace and the home of the Menace playoffs next week. It's CISN.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
Largest selection of German beer in the world, you'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
It takes a village to empower a young person to achieve their full potential. Yet today in America, 1 in 3 kids are growing up without a mentor. Together, we can change this. You can be that someone for a young person by becoming a mentor. Join the village. Big brothers, big sisters. Become a big today.
2-0 the results after a lot of action, a lot of excitement on and off the pitch. A couple of goals for Des Moines in the second half were the difference. Justin Forster joining myself, Danny Kadula, for post-match coverage on CISN. Justin, thoughts on this match overall as we give you a look at how we got here to 2-0?
Well, the Des Moines Menace, after a very, very nervy first half, as you can see here, Peoria had all the action, pretty much most of the action in the first half, and here was the first chance. But a great save there by Joey Petruni, just tipping the ball over the bar. Petruni had a wonderful game today. Here, Elliot Goldthorpe, just a little bit frustrated, fixed the ball into the injured player on the floor, earning himself here a yellow card, and also Ciron, Sewell, and Goldthorpe both getting yellow cards. There again, what a great save there by Petruni, well read. Petruni had a wonderful game today. You pretty much get the Menace in it. There you see a corner coming in. Riley Kraft. Sewell heads it, picks up the rebound off and plants it into the bottom corner, just past Edgar Vargas, as you can see here. He's just so strong. There was no malicious foul there. The Whites from Peoria didn't clear their lines, and as you can see in that celebration, just how the excitement is. Here you see the red cards coming up. Lance Roseboom, there's a bit of lashing out. There was a lot of just anger within the game. They were both sent off. But here you see the goal as Nevin Vargas picks up onto a loose ball and just plants it. Devin Vega just plants it past the goalkeeper. Mixing up my words tonight. There's been so much action going on, Danny? But it's great to see the Menace concluding the match with a 2-0 win and on to the playoffs.
On to the playoffs, and speaking of, before we let you go, we can now let you know all 8 confirmed teams in the Central Conference playoffs. Out of the Heartland Division, Chicago FC United clinched the division. Second place, it's been clinched earlier tonight, Caw Valley FC. That's a team we could very likely match up against in the first round. That's somebody to keep in mind that Menace could face. Menace, of course, winning the Deep North Division title. Second place, Peoria City. Both those teams we knew were advancing coming into tonight. South Bend Lions win the Valley Division. Kings Hammer FC coming in second there. Kings Hammer, another club we could very likely play in the first or second round. And then Kalamazoo FC takes the Great Lakes Division. Flint City Bucks on the last day with a 6-0 win over Midwest United find their way past AFC Ann Arbor to grab the second and final spot in the Great Lakes. As you see in front of you, Friday, July 22nd is the first round. If Menace win, they'll host again on July 24th, but CISN will be your home for all 3 quarterfinal and semifinal matches here in Des Moines, no matter how far the Menace make it. Of course, we're hoping and expecting them to go all the way this season. But all that coming for you next week. Meanwhile, your Musco Lighting man of the match, Justin, who have we got?
I have to give it to Ziron Sewell. He was so consistent today, unlike some of the other times. He was intercepting passes, winning tackles, not just that, scoring the first goal off firstly, a set-piece corner, his header, rebound into the bottom corner. Most definitely, Ziron Sewell is the man of the match today.
Yeah, fantastic work. Not just the goal, it was his effort all match long. Some important defensive interventions as well. Ziron Sewell, your Musco Lighting man of the match. That's the way it ends here. 2-0 for Des Moines Menace at home in their 4th of a 4-game home stretch that they close out the season with. Momentum to bring, quality to bring, and a couple of goals to bring into Friday's opening round matchup. You'll find out who that is on USLLeague2.com. You can check out their official bracket to see who we match up against. But until then, for everyone here at CISN for their work in making these broadcasts possible, as well as my broadcast partner Justin Forrester to my right, my name is Danny Catula saying thanks very much for listening. Have a fantastic rest of your evening, and be blessed.